EP18 of the Battle Vault, a No Dice, No Glory podcast dedicated to the world of Battlefront's 15mm tactical gaming, including Flames of War, World War III Team Yankee, Great War, NAM, and Fate of the Nation. Today is the 27th of May, 2021. I am Ed, and I'm joined by my buddy Tom. So, Tom, what are we doing this time?
Hey, Ed. How you doing, man?
All right, man. I'm making it.
Yeah. Got a long weekend coming up. This is the Thursday before Memorial Day weekend. We got a lot of gaming planned, so it's going to be some good times coming.
Yeah, buddy.
Yep. So what we'll cover tonight, this is going to be a long episode, folks. You probably saw from the length of it. We've got we'll go into our normal mentioned and dispatches. We have a couple of tournaments to go over and one list to go over, so we won't spend a lot of time on that. We'll talk a little bit about what we've been up to lately, like we normally do. Then we're going to do rules Ed forgot. We'll jump into that early, and then but we're going to try to make this first segment pretty quick, and then we're going to have a very lengthy segment with Joe Lewis, and we're going to break down the Bagration Axis Allies book, and I will cover Romanians. Ed will cover the Finns, and Joe will cover the Hungarians. So that took a lot of time. And we've already recorded it, so we're going to go a little bit more expeditiously on this intro part. And then we'll have a quick wrap up and tell you what's coming up in the future. And there are events on the horizon. So does that sound like a plan, Ed?
Sounds good. Let's make it good.
All right, man. So what you been painting lately?
Well, I started painting my first shipment in of my West Germans, of all the new West Germans I got. I ordered a lot of those.
Nice. You got any of the Leopard 2A5s, the big honking ones?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to paint those first.
Nice. The giant slab turret.
Yeah.
Goes from the front bumper to the back bumper.
I know it. It's amazing.
Looks like an aircraft carrier landing deck, doesn't it?
I bet you I can land my my aircraft on the top of that thing.
It's yeah, sure. The B-105. Yeah, just put it right down on top. That'd be cool. Yeah, a little land aircraft carrier.
I could put a helicopter landing thing on top of it. You know, those crosshairs with the big H on it.
Yeah, nice. What about the Martyr 2s or the Weasels and the Jagdpanzer Canons? Any of that stuff yet?
Oh, I do have. That's the second thing I'm painting is the canoons. Yes.
I didn't realize you could buy those already. That's cool.
Oh, yeah. I had those special ordered. As soon as they announced it, I put it in.
Oh, cool.
And I got them right here. I'm getting ready to prime them as soon as we're done here.
Oh, nice.
And so I can start working on those tomorrow.
All right. Sounds good. I guess we'll have to try to get in some Team Yankee gaming this weekend. We got Masters next month, so I need to get some practice games. But probably not against West Germans, though. Probably won't see too many of those.
I don't know. You know, you put that new tank out there, somebody's going to want to play it.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Well, I'm pleased to announce that I've actually painted something.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. It's only taken me halfway through May to do it. So the first teams I've painted for this year for Flames of War or Team Yankee have been some 8-rads. We had this tournament. I guess we'll talk about that here. We will talk about that here shortly. That Ed and I got a chance to go to up in Indianapolis last weekend, and I was playing. It was a mid-war event, so I was playing East Front Germans, and I have a nice East Front German force, and it's all plastic. But I needed a couple units of 8-rads, and I had a Plastic Soldier Company box set that comes with 5 8-rads. So the SD KFZ 231s and so anyways I built 4 of them, 2 units of 2, and then the 5th one. It's a really nice kit, and I'm going to do an article, a review for them on No Dice, No Glory. But the kit gives you the option to build the standard 20mm 8-rad, the 8-rad with the antenna. I think that's the 232. And that's also the 8-rad with the big antenna with like a command cupola, kind of, just like a box on the top. It's just a radio signal command and control version, kind of like a 577. And then they also have the version, forgive me for not knowing the number, but they also have the version, yes, Ed's holding up a model of one of them, yes. And what is that one called, the 233?
I think it's the 233 command.
Yeah, so I built one of those. And anyways, but the kits also allow you to build the one with a short 75. which I don't think we actually have in the game right now. Maybe we do, but anyway. So I just built.
Yeah, we actually do. We actually do. You can get it with the Recon, the Bagration Recon.
Okay. All right. Well, you could build that kit too. So it's a great box set. 5 models. Could build them 3 different methods. I suppose because everything you could magnetize the hulls, the upper part, and just put all, go switch back and forth. But I just glued mine together. And I think that the command version I'll use as a objective marker or something. In fact, I had it out in the tournament. I had it on the table in every game. And I usually just sat it on top of an objective marker and said, that's just ignore that. It has nothing to do. So nobody complained about it. So the first.
Did it help you any?
Yeah. And I'll be painting some more this month because of Masters. I need a few odds and ends to round out my list. So I'll be working on some more Soviet stuff, OPs, and eventually I'll get to my US. Well, we shall see. So that's been it. And you got any events planned in June? I think.
Yeah, we got that one we just posted on Facebook with the. We're going to talk about that later.
Yeah, the one I'm running.
Yeah, the one you're running. I'm going to that. Yes, I am.
You'll play that.
And I'm going to break out my 21st. Here's an opportunity to play it, so I'm going to bring them.
Nice. Yeah, it's a perfect event for that.
Yeah.
Well, good deal. So, well, let's go ahead and transition into covering some of the recent events. And we really only have 2. And the first one is the event, and they both happened the same day, both Saturday last week, which was what date was that? The 20th?
22nd.
22nd? Yeah, 22nd. There you go. Yeah. And the first one was up in Indianapolis, Indiana, where we had 20 players, which included Ed and I. Neither of us did well. You less well, but me not well, you even less well. And but it was a good event. It was mid-war. I haven't played that for a while, and it was Options on the Table was the title, and you had to have or you could have a 54-point core force, and you could choose a 36-point sideboard. That's how we did it. And I didn't use a sideboard. I just played German Panzer Grenadiers, and I just had one force. So I just said, I'm just going to run this and see how it goes. And you played Russians, Ed?
Yeah, I did. I played the Russians, the motorized infantry, motor infantry formation. And then I had for the 2 36-pointers that we could choose from. One was an artillery supplement for anti-infantry operations, and then the other one was an anti-tank that had the 4 57s in there. So I only used that one once. I used the artillery ones. Both we did 2 other games, yeah.
And we did no practice games. We just went in there cold.
Yeah. If you could tell.
Yeah, I was like, mid-war. I haven't played this forever.
A long time, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was still fun. Good day to get up there. Great store, great people, and we'll cover some of the people there. So we had at Best Sport, we had Randy Rapper, and I played him and voted him as Best Sport. I thought he was a great opponent and great fun guy to play against.
I don't think I had seen him before, and I've never played him. But how did that go?
It was great.
Yeah,
it was a tough game. We had.
What was he playing? Do you remember?
Oh shoot, what was he playing? Some quarter Germans, because all my battles were red versus blue, and I think all of them through the whole tournament stayed that way.
Yeah, well, except mine, the last one. We had a 9 and 7 or something like that, or we had one. It was an off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I managed to get through all the same ones. He had a God Lord, it's killing me trying to remember what he had. Usually you're the one that can't remember.
Yeah.
but it was okay. I think I ended up defending in one of the counterattack type missions, and basically mortars and anti-tank guns was able to whittle them down. But
yeah, I played all new missions in this last tournament.
Good.
Yeah, and ones that I hadn't played before, and I can't remember what they were, but I'll try to draw on that memory here.
Yeah, I played Gauntlet and Outflanked.
Yeah, I did Gauntlet.
Yeah.
That was the first one I had.
Well, the first one I played was a regular mission, and I can't recall. That was the one against Randy. And then I played Outflank against Joe Lewis, and we fought to a 3-3 draw. And then with him attacking me, I was defending in that one. And then ended up defending also against William Brown in Gauntlet, which I really didn't care for Gauntlet. There's a lot of discussion going on about that. As a defender, it's just kind of hard to get at those objectives. And, the attacker, I mean, he only starts 16 inches away from where the objectives can be. Right. And has the first move. So it can immediately just dash up to the objectives. And sure, it doesn't go until turn 6 for winning the game.
Yeah.
But I just think it allows the attacker to position his entire force, protecting the objective. So in effect, the attacker rushes forward and becomes the defender. And then the defender has delayed reserves, so doesn't have all their stuff. So I think that they need to have both of them have immediate reserves, both forces. Anyways, but that's a whole separate discussion. So anyways, back up the list there. Best Army, Jim Markstone. Had some beautiful Panzer Grenadiers. Nice gray with some nice highlighting, and it looked pretty awesome. Yep. And then we have the top 7 placers, which I think I was 8th. So I think it was just below Joe Lewis here. And Joe Lewis was at 17, and he had a Red Banner Hero Motor Rifle unit that was supported by an Su-76 battalion. I guess it would be battalion, right? Yeah. Yeah, battalion.
Yeah.
Two companies and a headquarters, and then I think he had some of the armored cars possibly with him, and he had the Hero Motor Rifle unit. Jim McKinney was 6th, and he was running Ghost Panzers, Ghost Panzer Grenadier Company. That didn't seem right. It must be Ghost Grenadier Panzer Grenadier Company, because isn't the Grenadier companies are all in Cross of Iron or Iron Cross?
No, he had Ghost Panzers is the book. The Grenadier Company is what he had.
Well, I'm trying to tell you that I don't think there's a Grenadier Company in the Ghost Panzer book. The Grenadier companies are in the Iron Cross book. So he might have had a Ghost Panzer Grenadier Company.
Okay, I can't.
Because the mounted guys are what's in the other book. Remember, all the infantry were in the first book, and all the mounted stuff kind of in the second book.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's irrelevant. But so some sort of German Grenadier formation out of Ghost Panzer. Chad Underduck, our local pal who traveled with us. We had a trio for that trip up there. He was good company on the drive. And he did get some practice games in, and apparently it worked for him because he ended up coming in. Says 5th. I thought he was 4th overall.
I think he was tied for 4th.
Oh, I see. Everything's off by a number here. So Joe was 6th. Jim McKinney was 5th. Chad was 4th.
Oh, I see.
yeah. There's an extra enumeration added. Thanks auto edit on PowerPoint.
Auto edit, yeah.
or Microsoft Word, yeah. So he had a big old swarm of armored cars backed up by 88s and some. He had no infantry, and then he had the 2 captured 25-pounder units. So he had a lot of guns and then armored cars, and it worked for him. He ended up coming in 4th, which is a pretty respectable standing in that crowd.
Yeah, I was sure he was going to get smacked down, but
no. Yeah. And in fact, you and I both played him in the week prior, didn't we?
Yep.
And we both beat him.
Yes.
Yeah.
We both beat him pretty soundly.
But, and then he doesn't change anything in his force, and then he goes and places way better than both of us the actual event.
I wasn't on the bottom of the list, but if it weren't for those 3 other guys tied for the bottom, I would have been right there. I was 1 point ahead of him. That was it.
So glad to see Chad. For those who don't know, Chad is one of the co-owners for Hard Knocks Games, and we're lucky that he's very big into Flames of War and Team Yankee. But he doesn't get to travel much, so because he's running a store most of the time.
Right.
So I was glad that he, for this event that he was able to travel for, that he actually did relatively well with. So congratulations, Chad. Good to see you up there. And then in 3rd place then was William Brown playing a U.S. Armored Rifle Company. And we had a pretty good slugfest. Ended up being 6-3 in the gauntlet.
Yeah.
And then Charlie Clay. Did you play Charlie? I didn't play him.
Yeah, he was first round.
Okay. That's right.
I almost beat him, but his last round he just could not help but roll 6s consistently, and which killed my game.
He was playing in Avanti Tank Company. He had the Semaventes and the M1341s or whatever. He had all sorts of tanks and Bessel Gary and a bunch of guns and artillery. So
yeah. And air.
Oh yeah, and those as well. So that came in second place. Congratulations, Charlie Clay. And he also took himself out of the running for Best Painted, although he had a beautiful Italian army.
Yes.
He's just won best painted with it a lot. So he elected, just said, hey, guys, don't vote for mine. I'm pulling it out so that let someone who painted something recent get in there, because it's also a force he's had for like a decade. so he graciously pulled that force out, which was a contender, especially with his objective markers. Did you see those?
Oh, those were nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Do you remember what that was on there?
I just remember. No, you're getting specifics on me, Tom. You know I can't remember.
Yeah, you must not have seen him. You would remember him if you saw him. They had a tent. Well, the first one had a tent, and what was in front of the tent?
Oh yeah.
What was it?
Can we say that on the air?
Yeah, you can say it there. It's naked ladies.
I know it. You said it, not me.
There's nothing wrong with that. There just were.
You're right. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely.
Some desert maidens who happened to not have their clothing on.
Yes.
So they're out there in front of some tent.
The MWR tent.
yeah, something. I was like, ooh, it could be the French army, right? They have the mobile brothels, right? That just fall around the French Foreign Legion. Could be those. Yeah. But anyway, so well done, Charlie Clay.
Laundry. They do laundry.
And then coming in first was Chris Fretz. Bum bum bum. Who was running a Red Banner Hero Rifle Company, and we happened to have his force. So what did he use to get to the top there, Ed?
Yeah, this is the same thing I had, the Hero Rifle.
Well, how come he did so well and you did so poorly?
Well, no comment on that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but he had the two of the Hero Rifle Companies there, 10 DP machine guns. And he also added a PTRD, and let's see, and that's it. That's all he had. Yeah, I added on mine. I had a machine gun and a light mortar, which did very well. I was shocked at how well I was doing with it.
And he had a unit of heavy mortars also in that formation.
Heavy mortars. Yep, he had heavy mortars. I also had a thing of light mortars. But for him, he had the air also. He had Churchills, which I did not. He had 3 Churchills there, and he also had a company of M3 Lees. I just don't like any tanks that are hit on 2s. Just don't do it. Let's see. He had the for cards. Well, let's go to support. All the rest of that are okay. Is that all the rest were cards? Okay, here you go. He had the Guard Rifle Battalion, so he upgraded his infantry, which I did not. That cost him 4 points for the two companies there. He had a Recon by Combat, which I did too. Only used it in one of the games. BA-10s. What was this? BA-10.
Yeah, he's one of the command cards, the BA-10 Armored Company command cards. So allowed him to take a formation of armored cars.
Oh, I see. That's what it was.
10 armored cars, 1 headquarters, and 3 units of 3.
Yes, that's good. A lot of firepower, a lot of machine guns. Yeah, they'll die easy, but with all that stuff there, it paid off.
They're AT-7. They're not.
That's right.
In mid-war, that's not a
not a bad deal.
No, not necessarily. So good force. And that reminds me too. Randy Rapper, who I played in the first round, was running a U.S. tank company. Had Lees and the Stewarts, and the Lees some of the Lees had long barrels, some had short barrels. That's what reminded me of what he played when I was looking at this list here.
Okay. Yeah.
So pretty standard list for Chris. I think we've seen him run something along this line before. I don't think there's anything in there. I know he's been running those BA-10 formation as a support, as a full, it's only 7 points for 10 armored cars. That's potentially 20 shots of AT-7. That's pretty. Plus, they're all spearhead and all that great stuff. So that's a good option. Problem is, armored cars are pricey. They're all metal and resin, and they're not cheap to get. So, in any case, so congratulations, Chris Fretz. Well deserved win there, and we look forward to seeing you downrange. So the next event that we have, I have very sketchy details, and that was also Saturday last week. It was played at Dreamers Vault up in Minneapolis. It was a late war escalation. They went from 75 points in the first round to 90 points to 105 points, and they had 20 players apparently show up. And I don't know anything about how the rankings went. I mean, I only saw limited posts on Facebook, and they haven't put it on battle rankings yet, and nobody sent me any emails. So, folks, if you got events you want us to cover, you want us to kind of go over the breakdown of forces, and you want us to kind of let your local players get their name and lights, then send us an email to forces@battlavault.com. That's that's not it. Sorry, it's a podcast at battlavault.com. Yes. Send us to podcast@battlavault.com, or just send it to me directly on Facebook, or just tag me or something so it catches my attention. So anyways, I was looking for the results on this, and the only thing I know is that J.B. Cedarberg Jr., the son, won this thing with Churchill's. So
Junior won it. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And I think they were Sylvia Churchill's. I think he was playing Sylvia Churchill's, if I recall correctly.
Oh, okay.
So congratulations to JB. That's he's certainly, man. I mean, how old is he? He's like 17 now, 16 or 17.
I think so. Mm-hmm.
He normally travels with his dad and John, and he's really coming into his own, isn't he?
Yeah, he definitely posts everywhere he goes.
Yeah. So well done, JB. So that's it for the tournament results that we know of. Not a whole lot this time. Again, folks, if you have them out there happening, we'll be glad to cover them. Just you got to let us know. I do try to scour Facebook, and I go to rankings headquarters, the battlerankings.com, I should say, to download and find out what's happening. But if you want us to go over them, then we got to know about them, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Go ahead, Ed.
Yeah. So I was just saying, send them.
Yeah.
You're out there playing them. Send them to us so we can announce it and get your names out there.
Yeah, and it's always interesting to see the list compositions that are doing well. And we're deliberately, I could have gotten all of the lists from Chris Fretz for the event from last weekend in Indianapolis, but we're going to try to go over these things quicker and just kind of cover the top, top competitors and the top list, the top single list, because it's just a little bit too much to all take in. So anyways, let's go ahead and take a break, Ed, and then when we come back, we'll be doing a very long segment covering the Bagration Axis Allies book with I'll start off with the Romanians, and then Joe Lewis covers down on the Hungarians, and then you wrap it up with the Finns.
Sounds good.
So go ahead and hit the restroom now during the commercial break. Get yourself.
It's going to be a long one.
Get yourself some drinks and some munchies, because it's going to be a bit of a long one. So let's go ahead and move into that now.
When it comes to paint, tools, and hobby supplies, Hard Knocks Games offers quantity and quality. We carry hundreds of hard-to-find products from brands like Ammo of MiG, Mr. Hobby, and AK Interactive. Come shop our massive selection of games, model kits, and more at 5571 North Dixie Highway, or find us online at hardknocksgames.com.
All right, welcome back, everybody, from the break. Glad you're with us, and also glad to have it with us today, Joe Lewis of Battle Rankings headquarters.
Hey, how you doing, everyone?
Or is it battlerankings.com? I always mess that up.
Battlerankings.com. Used to be ranking headquarters, but that was like, I don't know, like 8 years ago or something like that. That was hosted out of Australia or New Zealand or something.
Yep, I remember those dates.
Yeah, and then we left that because they wanted to start charging for people hosting for the rank hosting. And everyone said no, and anyway, so that's how we got started.
Yep, it became the free independent organization that you are today.
Well, arg.
Well, we brought Joe in specifically to help us cover the new Bagration Axis Allies book.
Yay!
And, that's broken up into three components. They have Hungarians, Romanians, and Finns. And so each of us are going to kind of focus on a certain area, and we can ask each other questions as we go along and try to point out some of the things that we're excited about with these new forces. What do we like? What do we dislike? How they vary from the previous forces in version 3. Anything along those lines that might help our listeners understand which force they may want to do in the future. So I drew the short straw. So I got to go first. In the pre-recording time when we were discussing that. So I had the Romanians, and I picked this force because I think it's the most interesting of all the forces in there. I mean, they all have some strengths and weaknesses and some reasons to play, and I've seen really cool Finn stuff, and I've seen really cool Hungarian stuff. But I like the Romanians because I'm a big red versus blue fan, and if you take the Romanians, they're switch hitters, right? they can pile in with the Germans, or they can pile in with the Soviets, and they can take support units from both, which is fairly unique. For those who aren't aware of the history, Romania got sucked into the war because after the invasion of Poland, the Soviet Union actually seized a couple Romanian provinces. That's why the Romanians joined the Axis forces to begin with, to get back the lands that the Soviet Union had taken. Well, as you all know, the general history of the war, that didn't work out so well for them. In fact, they got invaded and then capitulated, and then rather than be occupied, I guess they decided to join the Soviet force and then fought against the Germans and probably even the Hungarians from that until the end of the war. So that's why they get to use both forces on there. So interesting formation in that respect. That's one of the reasons I really like to have them out there, and the reason why I'd want to build them. The thing that puts me off from building them is that they're metal models for the infantry, and all of the little light tanks will be metal and resin. The only plastics that they have are Stugs and Panzer IVs, which they have in their force. So let me give you a quick overview here, guys, and feel free to jump in with any questions you may have as we kind of cover this stuff. So the Romanians have a lot of tank formations and only one infantry formation in the book. But they get that enhanced by the addition of the command cards. And we'll go into those in just a bit here too. So the tank formations that they have are they have some old kit like the T2s and the R2s and the R35s, and these are like almost the early war. Like the R35 is the Renault R35 tank, pretty much the exact same thing. And then they have the T38 and the T-38 and the T-2. Those are earlier kind of versions of like the Czechoslovakian 38T. In fact, the T-38s that the Romanians got actually were given to them by the Germans after they got done using them. So they're third owner recycled tanks. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, go ahead, take it. It's great. One owner. Tank. One owner.
So the Romanians end up using the Romanians effectively end up using early war tanks in late war. But fortunately there's other better options. I can't understand why anybody would want to do some of those unless they're just glutton for punishment, I suppose. So let's get into the force offerings here. They have an R2 light tank company, which is might be their only indigenous tank that they have. It's somewhere along the lines of a Czechoslovakian 38T. Real weak light armor. They're 2-1-1 for armor top, bottom, side, and forward. An overworked 3.7 millimeter gun, and only has AT6 firepower 4+. And they're super cheap. They're about a point a piece. But these things can't even take on armored cars. I mean, they're just barely within that realm. And one thing that really is a problem with them is one of the Romanian special rules is called Armored Reserve. And Armored Reserve, basically, you would normally not have to have these light tanks penalized by the Deep Reserve rule. Not the case here. So if you're using the R2s and the R38s, whatever, you will have problems with those when you in a Deep Reserve. So make sure not to ever take a defensive stance, or you could be very much out of luck. So they have those. They also have the T4 company, and the T4 is basically your Panzer IV, which obviously they got from the Germans. Then they have the TA assault gun, which is the Stug, which they got from the Germans. And then they have a motorized rifle company. Those are the four formations that you get from the book. Now, they get expanded by the command cards. You'll get a mountain unit, and you'll get cavalry units, and you'll get a T-38 company, which is not in the main book. And I don't know that they're just slight variations of the rifle company, the motorized rifle company, and they also have a regular rifle company. So that's the four units you're looking at. And I'll go to the ones that I think will be a little bit more interesting. So the R2 we covered. The R38 is the Czechoslovakian 38T recycled, and then you got the other ones. So basically, the tank formations, the R2 battalion has 4 company units. R2 are R35s, R2 are R35s in the 2 black boxes, and then a third box that could have a R2, R35, or T38 light tank platoon, and then the T4 medium tank or TA assault gun in the 4th unit. So I don't know why you want to run those things unless you're just super diehard to use early war kit in a late war environment.
Actually, I have a reason why you want to.
Why is that?
A really low point game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All of a sudden you're like, hey, you think you're doing infantry on infantry? All of a sudden, boom. I brought rivets, guys.
That's good. And another thing that really kind of bugged me about those early war tanks, the light tank platoon, the T-38, which is the repurposed Czechoslovakian T-38, it didn't get scout or spearhead, and it's encumbered by armored reserve. So I don't know. It just seems like they put a lot of stuff in their way. And then they get the T-34 company, which is actually pretty good. It's got the Panzer IV T-34 headquarters that can have 1, 2, 3, or I think maybe 3 tanks, and then it has up to 5 platoons of tanks. Most of those would be the T4s, a Panzer IV version, but 2 of them could be assault guns, and then the 4th one could also be those weird light tanks. And it has also an option to take an armored rifle platoon, so that can have up to 6 units in the formation. And I kind of like that one. But one other thing I didn't talk about with the tanks here that's a problem is that the Romanian tanks suffer from the rule of 3. You guys have any idea what I'm talking about there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, what is it?
They only come in 3s.
They only come in 3s, exactly.
Yeah. One dead, one bailed. Don't get them back in. The unit runs. I hate when it happens.
And their morale is not that great. They have a pretty poor last stand in most cases. In most cases, it's only a 5+ last stand. So that could be an issue. And also, they do have a good remount. They have protected ammo, so they'll get back up on 3s for the tanks that have them, like the Stug, their version of the Stug and their version of the Panzer IV. So those aren't too bad. And another thing I didn't mention here is that the Romanians have this overall rule called peasant army. So they're kind of like the Italians, where their first stat line is kind of mediocre, but they could also they roll a die, and on a 5 or 6 or the special marker, if you're using a special die, they actually get elite status, so they get upgraded. And if they get upgraded, then they generally go to confident for morale for 4+, and their training generally goes up. They're generally green, and they go from a 5+ to a 4+. And so that's the tank forces. I'm not going to go into the stats on a Panzer IV. I will cover the price, though, and this is where I think that these guys have some potential, even with the weak morale. First off, the entire Romanian army is careful. They're only hit on 4+, which is pretty good, right? And then, as good as it gets in the game anyways. Mm-hmm. And then they're slightly cheaper. Their Panzer IVs are 4 points apiece, right? What do we pay for them now, Joe, in the German army?
Like 22 for SS for 4.
Yeah.
So it's at 5 something.
Yeah, well that's more.
And then it's like more for the. I don't even look. I don't even have it memorized because it's not even an option in my army.
I gotcha. We don't see Panzer IVs or really even Stugs very much in the game.
I like Panzer IVs.
Of course, but their points effectiveness is not that great. Well, the Romanian Panzer IVs at 4 points apiece are actually, and still hit on 4s, are kind of worth considering. They just have that 3 tank handicap and then the really poor last stand unless they roll up to elite status, and the really poor skill status. So with a 5+ skill, they're not doing any movement orders, and they're not particularly good in the assault. And you kind of want your assault tanks to be good at the assault. And then their version of the Stug is even more encumbered because it has the rules that make its assault rating even lower. They only hit on a 6 unless they're elite in combat. But other than that, the stats are the same, as far as the armor and the guns, and you can get a lot of them. So, and we'll come back to that in a bit. Now, I do want to spend a bit more time on the infantry. I think the motorized rifles is the strongest thing that this force has.
Yeah.
And I would definitely want to be taking these guys as a black box unit if I was the Soviets, and for support, or to have a two formation, have a Romanian force and a Soviet force. The Romanian force possibly with the artillery and the smoke, because they can bring that stuff to the Soviet force that they don't have, right? So
correct.
Yeah. So if you run allies, you can get in the mortar platoon with some smoke coverage for you, in addition to the normal Soviet smoke rules, which I kind of dig. So the infantry, motorized rifle company, they're basically confident, and but they have the 5+ last stand unless they roll up. They're trained for combat unless they roll up, and then they go to 3+. But whether they roll up or not, they're 3+ in the assault. So that's key. They're good assault troops, no matter what rating they get, and they always are hit on 4s, no matter what rating they get. So I think that's pretty decent. I think that I'm not even upset if I'm stuck with the last stand on the infantry units with a 5+.
Yeah.
I can deal with that, but everything else is pretty awesome, and can possibly even be better. So just be gravy. Mm-hmm. So they're and here's another reason why I like them. Whether either you're bringing some careful, hard-hitting troops to the Soviet force, or if you're playing on the German allies, you're bringing a large platoon that's pretty stout. And what I really like about these guys is that they're they're MG teams. So the base platoon are 11 points for 9 of them, 8 for 7, and 5 for 5 units. 5 teams will get 6 of them. So that's pretty awesome. And then you can upgrade them with a Panzerfaust for 2 points. It's a limited 1 Panzerfaust, just like the Germans. Mm-hmm. You can also give them a Panzerschreck for 1 point. And then they also get a 60mm mortar for 1 point that does bombard. So you're looking at, for the maxed out motorized rifle platoon, a mere 15 points. And you end up having 12 stands of a pretty darn versatile. They can hold off tank attacks. They can bombard. They can assault. They can stop infantry assaults with all those machine guns. I think it's a pretty good all-around unit. So, yeah. And one thing that's particularly different about these is that in version 3, you didn't have this stuff. Version 3, they didn't get the Panzerschrecks, they didn't get the mortars, they didn't get the Panzerfaust. So I think the motorized rifle platoon has gotten a pretty good plus. And I would definitely want to have a platoon of these for my Soviets, or if not a whole small formation to bring in smoke and support. So I can see these being the main force, and then maybe bringing in a Soviet T-34 unit, or possibly a big heavy honking unit of Soviet support, like IS-2 company with like 5 tanks or something. So anyway, so I'm really excited about the infantry. The other thing that they've got that is also super cool is the armored rifle platoon. And those guys come in at 14 points, and they can be upgraded with Panzerfaust and Panzerschreck, but do not get the Panzer mortar. And for 14 points, you get 9 of these machine gun teams, 5 half tracks, not 4. They get 5 of them. Mm-hmm. And then for the Panzerfaust, 2 points more, Panzerschreck 1 point more. So you get 17 points for a maxed out armored rifle platoon. These guys are awesome, but guess what?
They're not black box.
Yep, exactly. It's exactly where I was going to go. And also, you have to take, if you're going to get these guys, you have to have you have to have the 2 black box motorized rifle platoons before you can take the armored rifle platoon. So you're going to have to take them as a 3rd unit. And to me, that's great if I'm playing Romanian infantry. It would be my 3rd unit. I'd have the 2 defensive unit and the 1 assault unit. But if I wanted to be a Russian player and take this motorized armored rifle platoon to attach, that's not going to work, unfortunately. So, Yep, Joe, you nailed it. that was the thing that bummed me out about this. Mm-hmm. So they also have the typical infantry support items, what we would call weapons platoons from back in the day. Remember that, Joe?
Yep.
We used to have weapons platoon. They have the heavy machine guns, 81mm mortars, 120mm mortars, just like the Germans, but with no smoke and with no smoke. And then they get some light anti-tank guns, some 47 millimeter guns, which are a bit outdated, and then 50 millimeter anti-tank guns, which are not too horrible in late war. 18-9. These are Pak 38s that they got from the Germans.
Yeah.
And I think they can take them both. Yes, they can take. The company can take a platoon of each. And I'll cover it now. There's a command card that lets you upgrade the Pak 38, the 50 millimeter anti-tank guns, to the what was the Pak 97 38 that they had, where they put the French 75 on the Pak 38.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So they for 1 point they can upgrade that their 3 Pak 50s to that gun. That gun reduces the range. Instead of 28 range, it goes to 24. It's still 18-9, but the firepower is 3+ and they're heat rounds. So they're much better at reaching out and hitting those medium tanks, just a little shorter range. And they also have only a 2-inch tactical move, whereas right now these guys have the 4-inch same 4-inch move that the German versions have. Yep. So pretty cool. So any questions so far, guys?
No, just I don't know. It's looking pretty interesting so far. I like what you've been going over.
Yeah.
I think some of the tanks are actually kind of novel. And once again, if you think about, well, a lot of time we have 100-point focus on our thinking, but you start changing that down, to say 75 or 70. All of a sudden, some of these weird tank things start looking actually really good.
Sure. Well, and one thing, there's tons of them at 1 point apiece, right? You can max out those formations, and you could have these little Renault 35s running all over the place, or these T2s or whatever light tank. They're all about the same price, a point apiece. And,
I know you were going to mention about the T4 or the Panzer IV.
Mm-hmm.
I did some quick math on getting 15 of them.
Yeah. Not too bad, huh? It's doable.
It's like, wow, okay. That's kind of like, min-maxing. But, yeah, you get 15 of them. That's 5 platoons of 3. Not a bad price. Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, in that T4, if you take a look, one of the support options, armored rifle platoon.
The armored motorized rifle guys. Yep, they're awesome.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and Stugs if you want them. So there's a lot of I having played Crusaders, I'm used to 3 tank platoons that have a 5+ last stand. I could deal with it. But to get that many medium tanks on the board, that might be an option. And if you're missing your Panzer IV, this might be the way to go. And I do like the way the Romanians have that white cross on the side and the yellow cross up on the roof. I just wish they did a little bit more into camo. They seem apparently to only go Dunkel Gleb or an olive green. And apparently the book said olive green is what they used when they were fighting with the Soviets. They went back to that. So they also have some Martyr-like pieces of equipment. These are pretty cool. They had these in version 3. They had the TCAM R2, which is a Soviet 76.2 ZIS-3 gun mounted on top of a R2 chassis. It's basically AT-10, firepower 3+ with the rate of fire 2 stationary and 1 on the move. I won't go into the ratings for it, but it's pretty much the same as as you'd expect, with a 6 for the assault. And even when it's an elite, it's still 6 on the assault. So these are not meant to go in and charge, of course. And then they have a really cool looking tank. It's basically does the same role. They have the TCAM T60, which is a much better 76 millimeter gun. The one that has been modified by the Germans, it was rebored and they had better ammunition for it. So it gets AT-12. So it's basically exactly like a Martyr. Still has a crappy cross, 5+. Still has 3 front armor, a little bit better than a Martyr, and still careful. And the TCAM R2, I didn't mention, it even though it's slower, it's only speed of 8. It has a cross of 3+. And again, these guys suffer from the 3 tank rule. They only come in 3s, which in this case would annoy me when it comes to ambush units, because they're kind of key ambush units, right? I want 4 of them. I want 8 shots at ambush, not 6. Yeah. So I really dig those. They're kind of neat little models, and be something I definitely want to have in my force. Then they also get the 75 millimeter anti-tank platoon, which is your PaK 40s. And then another thing which I think is really cool, which I would definitely have in my Romanian list, they have a 75 millimeter M43 anti-tank platoon. And this thing is essentially just like the PaK 40. It's only 1 point more. It's 11 points for 3 of them instead of 10 points for 3 of them. Same stats, all that great stuff. But it has a longer range, 36 inches instead of 32, and it's anti-tank 13. So that's pretty awesome. I mean, this thing is nearly as good as an 88, except for it lacks turntable, and but it has a 3+ save, just like a PaK 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the money there, and it's a cool looking gun. It looks sort of like a PaK 40. It looks like somebody had a PaK 40 and a ZIS 3, had a baby.
Oh, hey, Tom.
A big baby.
Yeah, that M43 has a 36-inch range too.
Yeah.
A little bit longer. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I would have to have this gun in my Romanian force, and you'll see when I get to my my proposed list, I do have it. So then we continue on. The armored car. This is really disappointing. The only spearhead unit they get is what they call the AB armored car, and they say it's a SD KFZ 222, and they give it the 20 millimeter gun or the 2 centimeter gun. But look at the picture there, guys. The picture on the card, and then later on in the catalog, it's the 221.
221, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that. So,
yeah, they had they used a thing called an AB40, which was the predecessor to the AB41 the Italians used, and so it just had machine guns. So I'm thinking they're just going with what they got.
Yeah, they're just using some existing models.
Actually, the model looks like a tiger ran it over.
Yeah, a little squished down, isn't it?
Yeah, a little squat. Yep.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I mean, but you have to have it, and it's 3 points, so it's more expensive than the other little light tanks, but it does have the spearhead, and you can only get 1 unit of them. So this is one of the weaknesses of the Romanian army, in my opinion. There's also a dismounted scout. I hadn't talked about that yet. That's coming with the cavalry, which we're rolling into next, and they do get cavalry on horses. Which can also dismount, and they have the special cavalry rules. They are pretty much the same as far as skill and capabilities. There's 6 points to get a team of 7, and they can be upgraded to Panzerfaust and light mortar. They cannot get the Panzer Schreck. And I don't know, can they fire the Panzer Schreck on the move from the horseback?
You mean the Panzerfaust?
Sad correction, yes, Panzerfaust.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would not think so.
I don't know. There's a special. Maybe it's in the cavalry rules or something. But it just seems like that would be a bit much for a horse to be dealing with. But oh well. We'll determine that later on. Yeah, and then they do get a dismounted scout unit, which does give another spearhead unit, but not much of a spearhead. 8-inch or 12-inch cross-country dash. So I don't rate these guys too high, but they're cheap. 6 points for the formation or for the unit, and for 2 points you can give them a Panzerfaust. So might not be bad for a little small strength unit to go hold a piece of turf for until reinforcements arrive.
Right.
And they're rifle guys. They're not machine gun guys. So they're rate of fire 2-1 instead of 3-2. Then they come back to the good old Romanian artillery. These are the same guns everybody has, right? The Italians, the Romanians. They have the 75 millimeter artillery battery and the 100 millimeter artillery battery, and they're pretty much exactly the same as you'd expect in other armies. Probably the same as they could be in the Hungarian army at least. And they do get an observer. It's a dismounted observer, and you have to take one of the 2 artillery units to get it. And then the last support item they have is the old Stuka. The one in the photo they show has German markings. I know the Romanians had German aircraft. I know they had Messerschmitt Bf-109s. So I suspect they probably had Stukas with Romanian markings, and it looked pretty slick with one, but here they just put a German one. And then the last item they have is the 20 millimeter anti-aircraft guns. They're for 4 of them at 6 points. That's your standard. What was this? The Flak 28 or Flak 38? Flak 38 with the 20 millimeter gun, and same as the Germans had. And in the back of the catalog, it looked like they had German crew. Here in this photograph on the card, it has a Romanian crew, but I don't know that they actually get that with them. And a nice painting guide with it. The Romanians, they said they're monochrome vehicles. They're either Dunkelgelb or the olive gray-ish color. They use reflective green is the color they recommend for it. So kind of and then their uniforms. They have a weird helmet. I guess it's left over from World War I. It's kind of like the French Adrian helmet, but not as detailed or ornamental and a little bit more stretched out, kind of like a fireman's helmet almost. So it's a kind of an odd shape and are very unique. And I guess they're the only force that have something like that I know of. And then their uniforms are kind of along the lines of British uniform. They say use German camo medium brown, but looking at the illustrations, I think English uniform would work pretty well for them.
Yes.
So that's my quick overview of the Romanians.
Hey, Tom, two things. While you were talking there, I looked up the cavalry thing for the Panzerfaust.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cavalry heavy weapon teams and Panzerfaust weapons cannot shoot while mounted.
Excellent.
And must dismount to shoot.
Okay, well there you go. So that takes away that strategy.
Yeah,
I was wondering about that. That was made me. So I did put together 100-point force, and I did this with I did actually two of them, and I did them with a 60-point core, and then a 40-point, which would possibly be reserve. If you're playing a reserve situation, or possibly would be a big honking Soviet unit added in there. So I went with the motorized rifle platoons because I think they have the most of an offer. So headquarters of 2 points, two 15-point units, which are maxed out with Panzerfaust, Panzerschrecks, and mortars, and the 9 MG teams. 4 mortars, 81 millimeters, 3 mortars. I'm sorry. You can buy them in 3, 4, or 2, 3, or 4. Those are the size you can buy the medium mortars at. And I went with a unit size of 3. And then they also, for the 120 mortars, I went with 4. I went with the PaK 38s as a formation unit, and I also took the 75 M43s, 3 of those for 11 points. And that's 59 points on the nose. And then I'll use that upgrade card to convert the PaK 38s to the PaK 97 38s, the one with the HE heat round and the 3+ firepower in the shorter range. I just think that's a better option for late war than the 4+, the 18-9 with the 4+ firepower.
Right.
Break your heart less. So I definitely would want that. And they used to be able to bombard, but I don't know if they're going to have that ability in version 3. So I think that's a pretty good solid core. And then for the next 40 points, I would take a second formation. If I want to keep it all Romanian, the second formation would be a TA assault company with a headquarters with 2 TA assault guns. Basically, those are your Stugs. A platoon of 3 TA assault guns and another platoon of 3 TA assault guns. So I'd have 8 tanks. 3 of those M43 guns with the AT-13 and 3 of the PaK 38 guns that have been upgraded to the later one. So that's a pretty stout force. It's got recon. It's got 4 templates. 2 60-millimeter mortar half templates, and the 81 and the 120, so plenty of fire support. They can defend. They're hit on 4s. They assault on 3s. They have issues on last stand, but as you all know, when it comes to last stand for infantry, I do not care. When they get down to just 2 teams left, they can just leave. They've done their job, in my opinion. Yeah, not as quite as lazy, as nonchalant when it comes to the mortar teams. My 3-team mortar platoon, it's infantry, so if it loses 1 team, it's checking morale from there. So hopefully we can stay out of sight and out of trouble. So that's my my main force, and I could take those 40 points with the TA guns and swap those out with Soviets if I was going to be playing as a Soviet ally. And I would take something like how much would 5 IS-2s be? Would it be close to 40 points?
They're 7 points piece, or
yeah. So that's getting pretty close up there. So 5 of them would be 35 points at 7 points apiece. I think they're probably a little bit more. They're probably like 8 points. So that would be 40 points right there if they are. So I kind of like that idea of taking this unit with that infantry motorized rifle force with a large Soviet tank support unit that could come in the board as a single reserve. And then I also put together a 50-point or 60-point tank force. and this is getting close to Joe's idea. Headquarters, the 2 T4s. Again, that's the Panzer IV. A platoon of 3 T4s, another platoon of 3 T4s, the TA assault gun, and then the maxed out armored rifle platoon that we were talking about. That 60 points, you get those 4, and plus headquarters making 5 units, and they're all hit on 4s, and they're all good vehicles, and that still leaves 40 points to either add in a second formation or just add in a ton of support or just bring a big honking Soviet support unit for it. So I'm pumped about the Romanians, but my problem is they're going to be metal, so I'm not doing them. I'm just not. My standard is they have to be plastic, or I have to be able to 3D print them. So if somebody comes up with STL files, maybe I'll do these guys. But as it is now, I'll just looking at them, admire them from a distance. So any questions about the Romanians?
No, I think they're a good force. I like that motorized infantry. That's going to be super.
Have either of you played against Romanians in version 3 before this?
I have.
Yeah. Yep.
Any thoughts you recall from there? Because I think they're slightly better now.
I think they are.
Yeah. And I played. I remember at the first Masters event, I played Chris Jackson, and he was running Romanians with. I think he had Panthers support from the Germans. And I was playing Fallschirmjägers with Stugs and some other gun. Anyways, it was a pretty tough fought game, but that was like a decade ago. So
yeah.
So anyways, I think we'll see some of these out there. I think they're a great option, and but I don't think they're going to be the most popular force from this book. I think the most popular force from this book will be what we cover next with Joe. So why don't you take it from there, Joe?
Yeah. Hey, just want to, I might be a little dense on this one, but I thought was interesting is that the Italians and the Romanians are the only ones that roll dice to see if they get better.
Yeah.
And they're both from the Roman Empire.
Ah, yeah. Romani. Right. Yeah.
Anyway, so these Hungarians. All right. So full backstory. My only really exposure from Hungarians is, Andrew Hobson plays them, and he plays a lot of infantry. But Will Winkowski, who's
Mr. Zerini, right?
Yes. Oh my God, everything's a Zerini. The Zerinis were going to destroy me. He would just smack talk about his Rizinis, and all I did is I would keep a sheet and I would just mark down every time I kill Rizzini, and of course I would mispronounce it for him, and every time I offed one, but I'm gonna have to say that I'm going to be buying some Zerinis.
Yeah, I think you will not be alone, Joe. And they got a great starter kit for them too, don't they?
I think so. Actually, I think it's in the book. You're making me scroll through the literature. Hold on. The starter kit. Oh, we'll talk about that. There's the Zerinis. Nice photos. The book's gonna be good. The infantry. Scroll.
Hey, Joe.
Yep.
I thought was it Andrew? Didn't Andrew have the Zerini assault gun units for the Romanians?
He did not. He would do a lot of Panzer IVs, but of course that was before. Yeah, actually the starter box has 3 Panthers, 3 Hetzers, 3 Zinis. Oh, 4. I think 4, and 3 Stugs, and some 10.5 centimeter. That is 4 Zerinis. Yeah, basically you could start a Zerini company with that force. I'm going to go through it here, but I might actually be picking up that box.
Yeah.
So why would I make such a bold statement? Now, let me tell you why. Let's kind of go over the Hungarian. So, by the way, typically we're actually recording this on the day that I normally do my show, and historically, my wife drives by a taco place and picks up some tacos, and instead of making dinner so that we can concentrate on the show, we eat tacos. But we didn't today. She made beef stroganoff, which is a Hungarian dish.
Yeah.
There you go.
So kind of get me in the mood here. So
There you go.
now I'm going to call the Hungarians German lights. Okay. And if you're the kind of guy that who's turned off by the idea of playing Nazis, you could play Hungarians and not feel dirty.
Yeah. Same with the Romanians and the Finns, right?
Yeah. But the thing about it, I think with the Hungarians, you have all the options.
Yeah, tigers and panthers. And Hetzers. Yeah, they have way more German kit.
Yep. So, yeah, you take a look. You got a Panther company that you can do, and I think the Panther company is actually better than the Panther company for the Germans.
Oh yeah, it's cheaper, right?
Well, it's cheaper, but you have more support options. The little stuff that keeps you from having your army break too quickly. Yeah, because you have the black boxes are obviously the HQ and 2 Panther platoons, which, by the way, you can take 2 or 3. They suffer from the 3 thing.
Yeah.
But you're looking at 2 for 19 or 3 for 29, which is pretty darn cheap. Once again, they're hit on 4s.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference between pretty much the only difference between a Hungarian and a German is the Hungarians are trained for skill.
Yeah, they don't assault as well and
Right.
do move orders as well, but
Yep. They don't have stormtrooper.
Mm-hmm.
And which I thought about this. How often do I use stormtrooper?
It's not, maybe a couple times a game, right?
It's very situational.
Yeah.
And their last stand is a 4 instead of a 3.
Yeah, they don't have that fanatical thing. So.
Yep. For the homeland.
Yeah, but you look at that for 3 Panthers. It's like they're 11 points for the Germans.
Yeah.
Panthers. So that's 33 points for 3. These guys are getting them for 29 points for 3, and effectively they fight and shoot and move pretty much just as well.
Just as well.
Yeah.
Plus, with that, in that company, you also get you can take obviously Panzer IV, Tiger, but you can also take the Turin and the cold, the cold little tanks,
mm-hmm.
and you're like, okay, more rivets, right? Now these things actually they can play a role, and of course you got the best AA in the game, name wise, a Nimrod. Come on, your plane got shot down by a Nimrod.
Isn't that some sort of Greek deity or something? Is that where that term comes from?
Probably, but it just sounds better to not knowing the origin is calling it a Nimrod.
Yeah, in the modern U.S. 1950s origin, it's not very complimentary.
No. But then you have your options for Tigers. You have a Tiger company. Same setup. So just replace the Panthers with Tigers, and then you still have the Hungarian options that come around that.
Yeah.
The only thing is that on the Tigers you can have 2 for 21 or 3 for 32. It's more in line with the German Wehr Tiger, not which is 36 points for 3. or 37 for the SS. And so you got to ask yourself, is the 5 points, if you wanted support, is the 5 points worth it? I don't know. It's still, the train's on 4.
Yeah, well, they still protected ammo, right?
Yes.
So they remount on 3s. They're confident. They follow me. Not that you'll be doing a whole lot of that, but that's a Romanian, of course, a Hungarian special rule, the Huzzah thing, right? Where they generally follow me on a 3+.
Correct.
But yeah, I could live with it. I could live with the train. I mean, hitting on 3+. I've been assaulting with, like Team Yankee Soviets that have hit on 5s and all sorts of things that have just really low assault ratings and still just I just plow in there and just roll well. So that doesn't bug me so much. Shoot and scoot, move mortars, those kind of things, and maybe calling in to range in. That's where the trained I might get a little let down by it occasionally.
Yeah. Then is it the Turan tank?
Yeah, the Turan.
Turan. Okay. The Turan 2 has a 9-gun heat, and the Turan 1 has a 7-gun 4+.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, kind of role you want to play, but they're cheap. And if you have like some points left over, you could throw in this. It has normal tank movement, has a cross on a 2, has a 5 front armor. It has all the benefits of a tank. It remounts on 3s. It's confident. Has a side of 2, so you can assault if they don't have someone didn't take Panzerfaust or something like that.
PTRDs.
Or PTRDs. Yeah, you can go on in there for ranging from 7 to 12 points. The Turan 1s, 3, 4s, or 5s. And the Turan 2s, you can get 3 of them. So it's one of those. And once again, if you're doing a small point battle, taking a bunch of these really cheap, and they pack a wallop for their little chassis for 9 3+ heat.
Yeah. But they don't top 12 points the T4s for the Romanians. I mean, they're very, very similar stats, and those guys, they have the AT11, so it's because it's a full-up Panzer IV. So that's it is a cheap option, and I like the Turan 1 going up in units of 5. That'd be kind of a nice little assault unit if you could give up the AT value and go down to a 7 with a 4+ firepower.
Right.
That could. I mean, that's a 40-millimeter gun. That's no. It's not good for knocking out Shermans and T-34s, but it's great for everything else.
Yeah, the pesky little stuff.
Yeah.
Then their Panzer IVs, I think that you can get 4 for 19 points. What do you get for that? Your standard Panzer IV package. The only difference is the tactics is 4+, and once again, no stormtroopering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so they're going for 5 points apiece here instead of 6 points apiece.
Right. Yeah, or 3 for 14. What was the Romanians? 3 for
3 for 12 points. So it's only 2 points more to get and it's still a good. It's a bit better, but better training, better for assault because the base for unless you roll up, the base for the Romanian ones is green. 5+ skill.
Yeah. These are 4.
Yeah.
And you could roll for a 4 point.
And you can get them in units of 4, which is huge. Instead of just always being limited to 3. Yeah. Yeah.
And you have plenty of boxes, 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes to get those. So you can put a lot out there.
Yeah. You skipped the Toldi though.
Oh, did I? Yeah,
did
probably
you do that
did.
on purpose, or are you going to come back to it?
No, we'll go to the Toldi 2 light tank.
Uh-huh.
It has that scout and spearhead, so it's their scout tank. It has really good movement, a 4+ cross. And I think it's interesting is the Toldi 2 has a front armor of 1, while the 2A has a front armor of 3. So if you're looking for a light scout tank that has pretty good movement, you get the Toldy 2.
Mm-hmm.
You can get 3 of them for 4 points. It's
bargain.
Yeah, it has a 5-gun, 5 plus, but if you add more, when you get 3 for, it's basically a point or 2 more depending on the normal number. The 2 for 3, 4, or 5 goes 4 points, 5 points, 6 points. But the Toldy 2A, by the way, I'm sure I'm butchering these languages.
I think Toldy's correct, I think.
3, 4, and 5 goes 5, 7, or 8. I don't know. 5 points for, kind of reminds me of the Italian, recon tanks.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they're great, and the only thing that really because they're recon, their assault's pretty low. It's like 5 plus, but compared to the Romanian tanks with 5 plus for virtually everything, unless they roll up, that's not really a handicap.
Yeah, we talked about the Panzer IVs.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, scrolling down here, you get into the Zarini.
Here we go. Here we go.
There. That's kind of like the money shot here. The headquarters, you get 1 for 6. Listen to the stats in these bad boys. They're hit on 4s. They got the same armor as a Stug. Their skills a 3 for veteran. They hit on 4s in assault. They're fearless, and they counterattack on a 5. So obviously, they're not the assaulty tanks, even though they have bazooka skirts. I think I really like the movement on these because the tactical's 10, then their terrain dash is 14, which is a little bit typical higher than most. And then the cross country's okay at 18. That's pretty average. And the road dash, we're not setting track records here, 20. Yeah. But unlike the Stug, it's a 3 plus cross.
Yeah, normal rating.
Yep. And then the gun. Okay, it's an artillery piece. 3 plus. There's no smoke, by the way, but it's okay. We're going to bombard things. And of course, it's one of those ranges that go across the table.
Yeah.
And then direct fire. It's a 24-inch. It's a 10 with a 2 plus firepower. Brutal heat. Now it is slow firing, but here's the thing I really like it about better than the Stug H. Rate of fire 2 halted.
Yeah, I wonder why they gave that to it. It's seems like it would have rate of fire 1 with slow firing. What it should be 1-1 slow firing instead of 2-1 slow firing.
Yeah, it's 2-1 slow.
Yeah. That's a bargain.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to see a Rata, but I'll take it, run with it right now.
Yeah, check that out. That you're looking at the headquarters stat card, and so the headquarters can bombard all by itself and have to reroll hits. But
yeah,
that's still like, wow, that's a free half battery just from your headquarters.
Yeah, and the Zarini, they come in 3s, but 16 points. That's a hell of a tank for 16 points.
Yeah, that's like 5.33 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that ain't bad.
No, it's not bad at all. And it's a cool looking little model. So I think I'll be picking up some.
So how does this compare like embardment to like Vesp? Because they run in 3s also. How many how many points does a Vesp cost for 3? Because I know you
9.
Okay, so it's a bit more expensive, but you get that armor, you get machine guns, you get a decent assault capability. Like you said, the counterattack 5 plus. They're not going to stay in the assault, but the first round that they go in, they'll hit pretty well on the 4 plus. That's not too horrible.
Well, yeah, but your Wesp has a 2 front, and this thing has a 7.
Oh yeah. They're going to have to go back to shoot at this thing. Side armor kind of sucks though. So if you're hanging around the rear bombarding, you're pretty well at risk to being hit by enemy air. With those AT6 guns.
Yeah.
20 millimeter cannons and whatnot. So that's the only the side armor is pretty weak. I think the Stug is 3 on the side, isn't it?
It's 3 with the skirt.
Yeah. So that's one of the where it's takes a hit compared to the Stug.
But that's why you have Nimrods.
No, I agree with it. And it's you if you're playing Hungarians, you have to have this. There's just no way around it.
Yeah, it's kind of iconic.
Yeah, it's an ugly beast in my opinion.
Oh, well, yeah.
Beauty in the eye of the beholder, but it's full of rivets and it looks like it wants to be a World War I vehicle. And I don't know what's up with those side skirts. They're like the perforated hold side skirts, like screen. It's kind of bazooka skirts.
I think it's supposed to be screen. I'm wondering if there's some metal.
Yeah. It's kind of a ugly beast, but it gets the job done.
Yeah. Now they do have Stugs as an option, but if you're gonna play Hungarians, I wouldn't do Stugs. I mean, do the Zerinis. I mean, that's why to do Hungarians.
Yeah, and they only come in units of 3.
Yeah, they come in 3s. I'm gonna jump over to the Hetzers. I mean, because everyone loves a Hetzer. I mean, they're just so darn cute. I know you just want to go over. Huh? Yeah.
Battle turtles.
Battle turtles. Yeah. You're looking at they're 4 points apiece, which is similar to the Germans. But here's the difference. Okay, they're still hit on 4s. We know that these guys don't have Stormtrooper. That's okay. But the main difference for the Hetzers here is the Hungarians have a skill of 3+ versus 5. So you put in the right spot, you can, you can do your blitz move and get your rate of fire in there. Yep. Their counterattack is still bad. They still have the overworked. That's okay. They still have the cross of 5+. All right, great. But unlike other vehicles in the Hungarians, you can actually get 5.
Yeah, 20 points for 5 of them. That's cool.
Yep.
Great ambush unit too.
Yeah, that AT11 3+,
yeah.
32-inch range.
Yeah, I'd take that. 10 shots, I'd take it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they would do the job.
Yeah, and actually, I think, they just look cool. So, if you're going for painting, you want to get pest painted, just show a bunch of these, and everyone's like, "Oh, Hetzers, man."
Yeah, they look cool with the Hungarian, the white cross the Hungarians use. That kind of a fat cross looks good.
Yep. Yeah, it's a very thick paint too. Then so they have a lot of tank options. And now we can move off to once again like the Romanians, they only have one infantry option, and unfortunately, I like the Romanian infantry option a little bit better when it comes to the infantry.
Yeah, go Romania.
Yeah, because they're just MG rifle teams.
Yeah.
Halted 2, moving 1.
Yeah, and the price is only 1 point cheaper. That's a pretty big downgrade. Of course, they're also trained. They're in better morale, better last stand, so they got those going for them too.
Yeah. So the Hungarians have this thing called home defense that gives them a last stand of 3+. The tanks don't have them, but the infantry does. They're hit on 4s. They're trained. Normal confidence, but the last stand of 3. So they're very German-like. So you can compare this to, Grenadiers.
Mm-hmm.
But here you can get 10.
Yeah.
10 for 10, so a point apiece, which is really good.
With Faust and Shrek upgrade, and then and a heavy machine gun, right?
Yep, you can add a Faust, Oh no, you can give the Faust for 2 points, but it's adding that Shrek for 1, which is where the Germans it's 2, and adding the HMG for 1, and I believe the Germans it's also 2 points.
Yeah.
So totally tricked out. You're looking at 14. You have 12 stands. It's very, being hit on 4s, it's a good defense. There's a lot going for it.
Yeah, that having the HMG team makes up for them not having the MGs like the Romanians do. A lot more defensive firefight dice. So
now, I know we're not. Let me talk about one of the things about the cards for the Hungarians is that they give you options for your infantry, and so you could trick out your infantry with different cards. There's a motorized rifle option. There's a border guard option, which allows you to take flamethrowers, and a 20 mil anti-tank option, which is pretty interesting. You can't take any Faust or Panzerschrecks if you take those, but you just got these options. You can make a border guard company, Hussar squadron, which get you some more options. It's and then of course the volunteer rifle. This is where you can make your basically you make them fearless with a last stand of 4, but the your skill goes to 5.
yeah.
But it's you do a lot of points reductions, and you can make an entire company that way. Assault company, rifle company. So you got all these different options. A scout company for your infantry. So even though you have just the one option in the book, with the cards you can really customize the rifle company. Now, I did notice something, and I would personally jump all over it. In the list itself, so in the formation, you get your 3 options for rifles. You got your basically just think like a grenadier company. You got your 3 options for rifles. You have your machine gun platoon. You have an 81 millimeter mortar platoon, a 120 millimeter platoon, and then you got some really interesting weirdo things that can happen with this. Okay,
something we did not have in version 3.
Yes, and the first one is this anti-rocket platoon. I saw that and I'm like, okay, what are these? Milans? What are these things?
Yeah,
and
late war Milans.
Yeah, and so I'm like, oh, let's check this out. You could get 2 rocket launchers or 3 for 5 points or 8 points. And what the heck do these things do? Basically, they are a like a Faust type weapon that is a rocket launcher. It has a range of 12, but it has a anti-tank of 14. Yeah. Now, granted, it's a 5+ firepower, but it would just be kind of funny. I am ambushing with my anti-rocket platoon. you know.
It'd be fun. It's small footprint too. It looks like a medium base maybe, but 3 figures on it.
Yeah. Now, what I don't get is, looking in the picture, it says it has a gun shield.
Yeah. It does on one side anyways.
Yeah. I don't know. Were you going to hide behind the rocket?
Yeah. There's a little piece that looks like a car door stuck to the side of the frame.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, like, do you just get one of these and just put it right behind your infantry platoon in case someone insults them?
If they give this thing a gun shield and don't give the Soviet Maxim gun shield, then there's an issue.
Yeah, it's so small. Yeah.
That covers one of the 3 crewmen that they show.
Yeah.
Then let's go look at the 40 millimeter anti-tank.
One thing to note though on this thing, Joe, it is cool but ambush at most 3 shots, but they can kill a lot of things and at least bail them. But no moving rate of fire. So if these things are pinned, they're not defensive firing.
No, they're not.
Right.
Yeah. So they basically early Milans.
Yeah, like a law on a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, this thing is huge though. The size of the rocket is the size of an 8-inch artillery round, which weighs 200 pounds.
Yeah, 250.
So this is a 200-pound rocket-propelled shell, and so it's pretty awesome. It's pretty.
Okay, so I now have this vision of like Coyote coming back, striking the match and lighting the rocket from the back. If I get one of these things, I'm going to write Acme on the missile.
On the gun shield. Put it on the gun shield.
Yeah, Wile E. Coyote, super genius.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Then let's move to the 40 millimeter, right? All right, so it's a 40 millimeter anti-tank 7. Woohoo! Right, 4+. Oh, wait a second. It's got that little rocket adapter.
Yeah, like the Stalgranite.
Yeah,
Stalgranata.
Yeah, so it's an anti-tank 12 with a 10-inch range, with the 5+. Once again, with a moving rate of fire, so can fire if it's pinned. Yeah.
But it's slow firing, so do so with a penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or would slow firing only apply if it actually moved? So if it was pinned and you have slow firing,
you still slow fire.
Okay, gotcha. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what does Kerngranata mean? I know Stahlgranate means like steel grenade. What is Kerngranata? Maybe is that Hungarian for steel? I don't know.
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, all right. I was about to look it up.
Who knew Ed was so wise in the ways of Hungarian language?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, meatballs.
Yeah,
meatballs.
I think that's Swedish, dude. I'm not sure.
Hungarians got them too.
Oh, okay.
Well, they have a Pack 40 option, which is, okay, so it's a Pack 40. Well, they call it a 7.5. Anti-tank 12, 3+.
Nothing wrong with a Pack 40.
Nope, nothing
wrong with that.
But talk about a couple other interesting options. They have a scout platoon. Okay, if you're now, the thing about their scout platoon is it does have scout, it does have spearhead, hits on 4s. It's not for assaulting, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. You can give it a Panzerfaust. Their scout platoon. It's just 7 guys, just like their infantry, but capped out at 7, just with kind of a worse, assault attack, 5+. Mm-hmm. But let's talk about, I think, which is kind of cool, the Hussar troop. It is recon on horses. Mm-hmm. So it's an infantry unit, it's cavalry, it can dismount and has spearhead. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, cross country dash of 20 inches. That's useful.
20 inches? Yes. Yeah. So, okay, think about those scenarios where you need to get up and go. Man, you just send the horses out 20 inches. You get the first turn of movement, 20 inches. Yeah. And then you dismount. Now, the thing about dismounting is once you dismount, you lose the horsies. I like horsies for the purpose of trying to win best painted. Because think about it. Now you have the 2 cute things in your force. You have the Hetzers and you have horsies.
That's just the horses.
Does the save art change when they're mounted? Is it
Nope.
still plus save?
It's a 3+.
Okay.
Just like infantry, yeah.
Yep.
Surprising.
Yeah.
I think the idea is that I don't think you get gone to ground or anything like that. So you're easier to hit.
Yeah, they don't have the scout rating, even though they have spearhead. They don't have the scout for concealed when moving.
Correct.
On when concealed and moving. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Basically, you just get them over there where you need to get them over, and then get them off. Now, they have, I think, which is really good about them, which is different from all the rest of the infantry, is they're veterans for the skill. They're a 3+.
Yeah.
They're a 3+. They're confident. They're hit on 4s. I don't know what more you can ask for a 3rd infantry platoon. Because I was thinking about this. Right now, some of the thinking is you want 3. If you're going to do infantry, you want 3 platoons. I'm like, oh, well, this hits a bunch of check boxes. Yeah, it could be my 3rd platoon, and it also could be my scout for spearhead, and they get to where they need to get going in a hurry. So I'm like, I think I am digging this. Plus, you have your Panzerfaust option. So for 11 points, you get 7 guys who can move in a hurry, and then once you get them there, they can dig in because they have that 3+ for the skill. They could dig on the objective and hold it. So.
Yeah. And don't forget too, with the Huzzah, the Hungarian followed me a 3+. Their cross country dash could very well be 24 inches.
Oh, that's right. True. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm digging that.
Yeah, it'd be fun to model. It would be, you'd have to double the number of models though. You wanted to have the horses and the dismounts, but it would be worth it. It would be glorious to see.
Oh yeah,
glorious cuties.
Yep. Got it. Yeah, hey, you got to put all this stuff, all this stuff together.
Well, it's nice to see Battlefront actually putting the horses in there instead of it just being a card that, like the transport. Okay, well, model them if you want to. It's kind of if you really want to put horse models out, go knock yourself out. But basically, just consider them on horses while they have this card in effect. So it's nice to see them actually putting in cavalry models again.
Well, are these going to be metal? Are these metal?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So they're using the old stuff, the old molds and stuff.
Yeah, nothing new model wise here. Yeah.
One thing I wanted to touch back on, the mortar options. So they have the 81 millimeter mortar and the 120.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed something interesting about the 120 millimeter mortar. It says in the notes, smoke bombardment.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. And
let's have something the Germans don't. Smoke on 120s.
Matter of fact, I was looking in the third edition stuff. Mm-hmm. They didn't have smoke for the 120s. I'm thinking it's a typo or a copy paste thing.
That's printed now. It's the rule.
Yeah. Hey, you had the flamethrowers for the Russians for a long time with the
the different fire. Yeah. So this is an advanced review copy we have. So this may not be the final go to print copy. So
that's true.
You could be right there, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I bet it'll still say. So now artillery. So they have 100 millimeter and 105 millimeter options. Which the 105 is really the 10.5. By the way, I think they're going to have the German guns, but with the Hungarian Cruise as an option, I think is online order only.
Hmm.
But you can't, actually, I think the 100 millimeter mortar. There's 1 point difference between the two. Which is the difference in the gun.
Yeah, the drag fire capability. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not too sure. Once again, comparing it to the Wesp, 11 points, 12 points. The Wesp is 9. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, that 1 point gets you that extra point, that 9 point in direct, and the as opposed to 8. But it also, the 105 is going to get you a 24-inch shot instead of a 16.
Yep. But if you're direct firing with these things, you're kind of screwing up already.
Yep. But at least you got a better capability just for 1 more point.
Now, one thing I did notice is that the Hungarians don't have a big anti-tank punch. And when you get down to their anti-aircraft options, they got some Bofors as an option, 40 millimeter Bofors. They're cheap, but the anti-tank is 7. Yeah. But when you finally get to the 88 variety, they have an 80 millimeter and an 88 or an 8.8. But you only can get 2.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, not good at all.
Lose one, and you're checking morale, and yeah.
Yeah, and the morale is only a 4+. So it's
still cheap though. I mean, only 3 points a gun or 2 points a gun.
Right, 4 or 6 for 2 each one.
I wonder if it doesn't say it here. It doesn't say it on either. But wouldn't they? The 88 certainly has turntable. Looks like the 80 millimeter AA gun would also have. That's a picture of it. Looks like an 88 without a gun shield, sort of.
Yes.
Would it? Where would that be on the back side of the card, or would it say that it has 360 fire?
Well, it's an AA gun first of all, and so it's going to be on a mount.
Yes, I got that, Ed. I see the picture, but I want to know where does it say that?
If it's on, it doesn't say it can. It will say if it can't.
Okay.
If it can't, it'll say forward firing.
Okay, so that's it.
Yeah, like for the Zerinis, for example, they're forward firing.
Just scroll up to the Neville Warfare's forward firing. Okay, I'm tracking. So forward, if it doesn't say forward firing, you got 360.
You got 360. Yeah, they keep it pretty simple, and you got a Stuka option. For 8 points.
Stuka, same as the Romanian.
Yep.
Exact same stats.
Yeah, and then they got an armored car, which by the way doesn't look like it got ran over by anything. Yeah. They're a point apiece, 3 or 4 option. Yeah. They're kind of like the German armored car. It's the same kind of stats, cross of a 4. Oh, but it moves like a Russian recon piece. That's why I like the Horsies better.
Yeah, it has less of a cross country dash. This thing only goes 12 inches cross country. Your horses go 20. So if you really want it for spearhead, you don't want this. You want the horses.
Yeah, but it does get the scout option though.
Yeah, well, that's great if you're just moving and not shooting and concealing terrain. I can live without scout. I mean, my BRDM2s in my Soviet Team Yankee Army don't have scout, and I'm like, okay, whatever.
Right.
They probably should, but they don't.
Well, so I put a list together. Like right before and finished it after dinner. So I put together an infantry list because I thought that was a good comparison for a grenadier, comparing to a grenadier list. And so I did the rifles. And so you got your headquarters in there for 2. And then I did a rifle plus a Panzerfaust plus a Shrek. I did not do the machine guns. 13 points. Basically, you got yourself, that's 11 dudes. Not bad. And then the second one, I did rifle plus the Faust. Then my third infantry platoon, I did the Hussar troop with the Panzerfaust. So that's 11 points with the 7 dudes. Now, it hit, like I said before, hits a bunch of check boxes. I have a third infantry platoon.
Yeah.
I have
great spearhead unit right in the formation.
Yep, it's all right there. And then I did the 120 millimeter mortar. I'm like, come on. I think the only downside on it, it's a trained, so it's a 4+ for the range in. But hey, you know what? I'll live with it.
Yeah.
And
you didn't go with the 81s with a smoke?
Well, no, well, the 120 has smoke.
We think
For now.
For now.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'll go back to the 88 or the 81. Yeah. Then I looked at some vehicles. You have to have the Serenis.
Yeah, definitely have to have those.
But one of the weaknesses I see with this list is they don't have any big guns. So I took 2 Panthers and 4 Panzer IVs.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean 4 Panzer IVs for a 19. Why not?
Yeah.
Well, they're 4+ to hit, so they're put them in concealment. They'll be great.
Yep. Yeah, an 11 gun. They could take care of things that that the.
So what
Panther.
What would the reserves be? Would all the tanks be in reserves?
No. I'm still working that one out.
You need a good solid ambush unit, and to me it sounds like it's your Panzer IVs, but I'm afraid because of points, your Panzer IVs might have to be part of your reserve.
Yeah, I didn't say it was the greatest list. I just said it was a list.
There you go.
Yeah, it's like I'm just. What am I doing with this list? I don't know. I just
always picking attack apparently.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah. My luck, I'll just be fair fight. But yeah, because if you have to put the Panzer IVs and the Panthers in the ambush, in the reserves, what is your ambush? Not much. Because they don't really have too much anti-tank. You want, and I hate to lose the Zerenis.
No, you got to have those. If you're not playing Hungarians if you don't have
Zerenis.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that these guys really need. I don't know. I think they need to be paired up with someone else.
Yeah, you could take a support unit directly from the Germans, can't you?
Yes. In fact, they have a card that says so.
Yeah. And, same with the Romanians. One of the command cards says that the Russians can take a unit from them, a black box unit, and so can the Germans, because it wouldn't say that in their the earlier books.
Right. So, it's called like Hungarian Allies or Romanian Allies is the card, and it's a German. It actually has the German card on it, and it says they can do that or take them as options.
Came with your Hungarian deck, but it's meant to go in a German deck. So,
yep.
Same with the Romanians. They had one for the German, one with the German backing, and one with Soviet backing. They said basically the same thing. Yeah.
Now, I am going to do Hungarians. I'll figure out something. I'll tweak it out and work it out with my Germans. But like I said, if you feel some people out there get a little weird. If you feel like you don't want to push Nazis, you can always do the Hungarians and still get some of that German equipment feel.
Yeah, I like that camo, the one they have in the Hetzers and the Kabas there, the armored cars.
The Saba.
Saba, is that the Chaba or Saba?
Saba.
Yeah, there's a little okay, and I like that little logo they got on them too. I don't know this looks like a little double cross on a green oval.
Yep.
It's like almost like a Saint Laurent cross, the double cross. So.
Yeah. Actually, I made. Now I'm thinking about. I made some objective markers for Will Wankowski using the Hungarian battle flag, which has the Virgin Mary on it.
Neat.
Okay, I'm like, all right, whatever. It's Romanian.
Or Hungarian.
And it had that flag in it, like you're talking about. I have to find it. I'm sure I have that image stored somewhere. But I made an objective marker for him, just like I made my Japanese objective markers.
I wonder, are they Roman Catholic or are they Greek Orthodox? There's a huge difference, but
I think they're Greek Orthodox.
Yeah, just always interesting in the Balkans.
No, hold on. No, sorry, they're neither. They're Byzantine.
Really? Okay. Well, that's more Greek Orthodox ish. You gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
No.
I dig it. They're good looking force. I like the uniforms. They had the German helmet, but the English uniform color. So that nice brown. So they look different. They very unique force overall. They get the Hussars look great with their hats. I even like I don't know if they're going to have that crewman in the model for the armored car, but he's noticed in that photograph there. He's got his little Hussar looking hat on, or Cossack looking hat. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think, matter of fact, I'm going to go over to the Battlefront site here. Oh, that's where I did that. And then take a look at they said they're going to do some stuff.
You just scroll down. The catalog's right there.
Yeah. Oh. You suck.
Yeah, they got the Hungarian catalog right in the book, including the starter set.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Starter set's got some Zerinis, some Hetzers, and some Panthers, and an artillery unit.
Yeah. They're going to do tank crews. And they got some tank crews for these guys. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So you can get the sprues for the guns, and then get the crews, the special order crews.
You notice something about the decal sheet? You can see it. So the Axis Allies decal sheet, it has the Finns, Romanians, and Hungarians all in the same pack. So we're gonna have to buy one and split it up. Because whether you want it or not, you get it to get the Hungarian stuff. You're getting the Finn stuff too. So four sheets. So we have to get a couple sets of those. Although a lot of the numbers and stuff be used for Germans too. It looks like, and there's something they didn't show in the book on that decal sheet. I assume that's for the Romanians. And there's a star, a red star, a Soviet star inside a white circle. So that's probably what the Romanians shifted to for a logo after they flipped sides. But they didn't show any of the vehicles in the book with that marking on it. So do some research on that.
Do you know what that red star circle is called?
No.
Don't shoot me.
Yeah. Please, comrade. Please, comrade, don't shoot me. Yeah. But there's Zerinis that now they look like the Hungarians. They have that big cross on the for air identification. That's pretty cool. It's just I like the way they put that logo up on the top as well as the sides. Are you going to pick your Zerinis with that Scherzen, that bazooka skirt thing on it?
I don't know. I'll take a look at. Depends. Is it metal? Is it plastic?
It'll be plastic. I think these are these not good? Yeah, all plastic. That's what it says on the Zerini set. So.
I might if I'm able to distress it, make it look like every
panels like part missing. Yeah, that'd be cool. That's got some weird running gear. That Zerini, man, it's got like rocker arms and like double bogies on each rocker arm with. And then it has an extra little, look at that wheel between the front idler and the first road wheel. Like, what the heck is that thing? It's like the track tensioner wheel or something. It's just that has this odd wheel like between where no other tank I've ever seen has had one there. So anyway, it's just commenting. Sorry, technical tank guy. I have to evaluate the running gear.
Oh, no problem.
Cool, man. Well, I dig it. They're the options. Just really, and that Zerini. I think that's going to be the most popular tank for the next for quite a while here. It's a all around contender. Bombard, decent attack, decent straight direct fire, great fire, brutal.
And
blow these things up, blow infantry out of foxholes.
Yeah,
it'd be pretty cool. Well, good deal. All right. So anything else on the Hungarians, Joe?
No, but I'm definitely going to do something. I'm going to pick up some Hungarians and definitely run some Hungarians. So
yeah, I'm tempted. But I just don't want to deal with metal anymore. So hopefully someone will have STL files. I have seen some 20 millimeter STL files for Romanians. It's not, they didn't have a huge collection of them, but maybe I could scale them down and modify them to give me some more variations. So there's a possibility I might be able to squeeze in some Romanians at some point. But
I'm going to take a close look to see how much, because they wear the German helmet.
Right.
That might just take some regular German infantry and just paint it in the Hungarian colors.
What also would work really good if you got them, especially with those big honking mustaches, get the World War I Germans, because the Romanian helmet is more like the World War I version of the German helmet. Is kind of slightly bigger.
Yeah.
And, the Romanians, they were really big on the facial hair. I mean, you could just paint mustaches on too, but a lot of those German World War I infantry figures actually have mustaches.
And to make it more pronounced, get some green stuff and put it on their face. Yeah. Be a big, thick mustache.
Yeah. and the World War I Germans wear the puttees, instead of because the German infantry, you don't see in puttees. You see in the jack boots or the ankle boots.
That's right. Yeah.
That would be. But yeah, you could get away with it, Joe. Just take the German figures and paint them English uniform with an olive green helmet.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think anyone will notice.
No.
Well, because everyone's going to be looking at the Zarinis, the Horsies.
Well, last time I played you pointed out at the end of the game, I went through the whole game, and you're like, hey, you notice something different about this infantry? And they were Team Yankee Soviets in your Soviet World War II force. I didn't notice until the end when you pointed it out. Yeah. Basically, because that's the only Russian infantry I painted was the no one notices the AK-47s versus the regular rifles. Capture Sturmgewehrs.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, they do have an 80 millimeter AA gun model for the Hungarians.
Oh, they do.
They are going to do that, so that's cool. At least some there. It's kind of like a shrunk down 88. It's a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
And that with no gun shield, but looks cool. Still on the cruciform platform, so. A good deal. Well, are we about ready for Ed then to roll into the fins?
I guess the question is Ed ready to roll into the fins?
Well, Ed's ready to talk about the main force, but the link you gave me, Tom, for the cards is the same exact link.
Don't worry about the cards so much. I mean, I don't. I mean,
I can talk some of the old characters that they mentioned.
Sure. Well, Joe and I can pull up the cards to add in on that as.
That's what I was going to ask you to do. Yeah. Thanks. Okay.
No All
right. Well, you want me to get started on mine?
Yes, please do.
Okay. Well, for all us people that really like the fins, that we finally got them now. And the good thing is, if you have German forces and you have some Soviet forces, some early war tanks and stuff, you're set. I mean, you got Stugs, T-26s, T-28s, T-34s. It's a conglomeration of captured and allied equipment. So you got it made there. You don't have to do a lot of special orders here for these guys. Okay, well, let me go ahead and start talking about the types of formations that you got here. They give you three formations. One's a T-26 armored company. The other one's going to be a Stug, but they call it a Sturmy assault gun company, and an infantry company. Okay. Now they do have some unique Finnish equipment, but I'll talk to you about that here in a few minutes. Okay, I want to start with the first group there, the T-26 force, and the T-26 armored company has two black boxes of the regular platoons. Of course, you got the headquarters platoon, and then you got a third potential platoon there as well. Okay, but two main boxes. Now the headquarters is pretty cool. The headquarters could be two T-26s for 3 points, or you can have a single T-26 and a T-34-85. Okay, for 8 points. Now the great thing you're going to notice about the Finns is they are fearless with a 3+ motivation. They are better in skills, 3+, and they're hit on 4s. And so, that T-26 actually has a capability of actually surviving a couple of rounds here. Just don't let it be the single target, and you might make it. Yeah. So pretty good there. Standard T-26 movement, tactical 8. It's going to be relatively slow. The train dash is going to be a 10, cross country a 12, and a road dash of just 16 with a 3+ cross. A 111 armor all the way around. And so, of course, the 45 it's the short 45 Soviet with 7 AT, and it is overworked. So it's no different than you'll see from the Soviet stats there, absolutely, with the exception of the motivation, the skill, and the hit on 4s. Okay, and the T-26 platoons that you get an option of getting, you can get up to 5 of those. 5 of them for 6 points. Okay, not bad at all. Not bad. Just really slow. They'll take forever to get there, and they'll lucky if they'll survive getting to the target. So, but the thing is, if you needed a 10-gun ambush team and you're going against grenadiers and half-tracks, these are the guys right here. Okay, another armor platoon you can get is the T-34-85 platoon, but again, it only comes in 3 tanks here for 21 points. 21 points. But again, you got that motivation of 3+, okay, skill 3, and hits on 4. And so, a good option there. And you're going to find that you probably want to take one of these, if not as the main thing, but could be a possible support platoon, because you're going to see there are not a lot of anti-tank options in the Finn force, and if they are, they're small, guns of 2, so something to be concerned about. Okay, you can also get the T-34-76 for 15 points. Again, just 3 tanks.
Yeah, Ed, I'm looking at this. I'm like, why not I just take T-34-85s, get 6 of them, love and life.
Yeah, what do you mean 6 of them?
Well, because you get 2 options, 3 and another one for 3. So two black box options.
Let me take a look at that again. I got to scan back up.
Yeah, the LFI 103s.
Yeah,
they're both on the bottom.
Okay, yeah, you could take 2 of them. That's right.
Yeah, and I like the KV option as a.
Well, the KV option, you only get 2 tanks though.
And
2 tanks for 12 points. They're the same as a KV-1S basically. No, it's not either. It's a KV-1E with the 9.82.
Mm-hmm.
And it has the 9 gun. The great thing about that, the KV though, it's made to crunch infantry with a 2+ assault, so it's got a good thing there. Okay, another tank I haven't talked to you about yet is the T-28.
Mm-hmm.
Now the T-28, it has a 4.32 armor, still has the same motivation and skill, but because of its loaded down with machine guns and the rear firing machine gun, it gives it a 2+ assault also. So if you can survive, closing with the Russians and get into the assault with a 2+, you're doing all right. And so I would take these as the cruncher force.
I know JB Cedarberg. I saw him on Facebook asking for some of those.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 5 of them, I think.
I don't know why he's asking for 5.
Maybe it's 4. They can only take 4.
Yeah, 4. That's it.
Yeah, that's again more early war kit and used in late war.
Yeah. Well, I've got a full force of the T-28s with my early force, so I'm ready to take them. And you got also you got your they call them Sturmies. Sturmies? Let me check that again.
It's about the
Sturmies. Yeah, they call them Sturmies for the Finns, and so they're good. Also, they still have the 3-3-4 combination with the motivation, skill, and hit. But what it does have is has the 2+ remount with protected ammo.
Mm.
And so that's pretty good. It does have the SP, the self-propelled gun and counterattack of 4+, like all the other ones do too.
Yeah, and they also had an upgrade kit. You can get the logs and the concrete armor that they added to the front slope. They actually sell that, so you can upgrade the German tanks to look like the Finnish ones with
very good.
The side logs and the extra. I don't know if you can tell, but that on either side of the mantlet, the front slope has been reinforced with concrete slabs.
Oh, I can't tell in that picture. Oh, yeah, I can.
Yeah, it's kind of rounded.
I can tell in the car. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
That looks pretty good. Yeah, you could actually make these things really easy if you didn't have the kit there. Just take a couple of chopsticks and cut them down, and then use a paper clip as the two holding wires there, and then just glue it on like that. It still look just as good. And then you can use the green stuff to make your cement. Just a thin thing, put it right there. You're good to go.
Yeah, pock mark it with a needle a little bit.
Yep. Easy do.
Yep.
For those that like modeling, that would be a good thing for them.
Just make sure the needle's wet.
so you don't end up with spikes on your.
Little outward teardrops. It'd be like spiky bits, like in Chaos 40K. Right?
Yeah. Oh. You can make it part of the zombie defense force there. Yeah. There you go. All right, so those are the two forces, the tanks that you got for your option. So just the T-26, T-28, KV, your Sturmy, and your T-34, 76s, and 85s. That's it. But if you already got Soviets, then you are set and good to go here. I like them. I just think it's few in number, but I'll get back to it when I talk to you about the force I put together. Okay, let's go down to the infantry company. Infantry company is pretty impressive. I like it, and for some of the same reasons that you saw with your infantry that you talked about earlier. And so we'll take a look at that and compare the Finns to the Hungarians and the Romanians there. But when you take a look at the composition of the force, you're going to have your standard headquarters and two infantry companies, but you also have a submachine gun platoon you could put there as one of the main platoon, and you can have up to a third infantry platoon. Same thing as normal. They got a maximum machine gun platoon, an 81 mortar platoon, 120. Okay, a scout platoon. But in the what we would call the old heavy weapons platoon, they've got a Panzerfaust close defense platoon. I'll get to that here shortly. And then you got a 37 millimeter, like the Germans, the 37 millimeter with the steel granate capability. And then you have the captured Soviet 45. 45. I think they give you the long barrel stats.
I got both, actually. It has both listed, short and long.
Oh, okay, good. I couldn't remember off the top of my head.
You take whichever one you want. They're both there.
Okay, good.
Oh, looking at the 120 millimeter mortar for the Finns also has note smoke bombardment.
Smoke bombardment, yes.
Maybe it's real.
Mm-hmm. But you will notice with the both the mortar platoons, you can only get three tubes each. That is it. 381s or 3 120s.
Just remember that the mediums are infantry teams, so if you lose one, you're checking morale. But the heavies are gun teams, so you have to go down to one before you check morale.
Yeah, a lot of people forget that.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Thanks.
I remind them.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. You got this here. That it's standard. The force that they are confident. The heavy weapons are hit on fours. There you go. A 4-3-4 combo here. Nothing unusual.
Well, the Panzerfaust close defense.
I haven't got to that yet. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Just now getting to it. Now it is not a large force. It's only 5 stands with a rifle. It's a M39 rifle team with a Panzerfaust. Okay, and the Panzerfaust is the same kind of, you got one for all 5 of those. I guess they share it. Hey, it's my turn to shoot the Faust. Okay, whatever. Okay, so there you go. You got that.
No, but Ed,
You're missing
these aren't limited. This is not sharing the Panzerfaust. Every team on this one has a Panzerfaust.
Is that the way you're reading it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's why you're paying 8 points for just 5 teams. They're pretty, there's only 5, but they can lay down a lot of Panzerfaust shots.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Okay. Very good.
Yeah, it's not limited one. It's
everybody's playing it. Okay, good. So you got 5 stands with a Panzerfaust on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Well, that case, I might need to rethink my force a little bit.
Yep.
Okay, because I did not put that in there.
But if these guys step into the open, they're dead. They're just gonna get machine gun. Everyone's gonna be like, kill them now.
Yeah, kill those guys now.
Yeah.
Better stay in bulletproof cover.
Yeah.
They have the tag Hunter, so I'm scrolling up to see what Hunter is. They treat snow, woods, or forests as cross country.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, when you need to get there in a hurry.
Yeah, cross country dash right through those woods.
Yep, like it's nothing.
I'd have to do fins with some skis. Just for that look cool. Yeah. The winter fins on skis. That'd be cool.
Right. I've got those models, but I don't see anything here that has it. Yeah.
No, I would just put them on there just for looks. The hunter rating to me is skis.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, take a look at the when you look down at their anti-tank force, they got the old German 37 door knockers there, but they only get 2 guns each, but they do have the steel granat capability.
Yeah, they're like the Japanese with those minimal size anti-tank gun units.
Yep, exactly. And the same thing with the 45 platoon. Now, in the support, going to support, you can actually take a captured ISU 152 for 8 points. So, the big heavy Stoker there, with its big 152, 13 AT with the auto firepower, not bad. You can also mount it with the 12.7 on there, AA machine gun. So.
Yeah, but they left off the bombardment capabilities, direct fire only.
Yes.
Yeah,
you are correct.
That blows. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's a captured vehicle, the guys that are driving it were the lucky guys to get picked, and so they don't know how to shoot artillery. Anyway, yeah, let those guys drive it. But anyway, there you go. It's
that bombardment.
Well, yeah. I think if you want bombard, take the BT-42.
Yeah, and we'll come into that here in a minute.
Okay.
Those are pretty cool. As a matter of fact, it's the next card to talk about. Yeah, the BT-42 is one of the unique modifications that the Finns did to the old BT-5s and BT-7 tanks, removing the turret and putting a giant 114 millimeter cannon on it with a suppressor on the end to handle the recoil of this gun. I think it's an old World War I gun. Vintage gun there that they modified to be able to put on this vehicle, but it's got an armor capability of a 2-1-1 front, side, and top there, 2-1-1. It has a standard tank movement, but it's got a train dash of 14 inches, a cross country of 20, but that's where it tops out on road dash 2 at 20 with a 4+ cross. With a 114 millimeter gun, it gets a 3 anti-tank bombardment value. It has a range of 48 with the 3+ firepower and can fire smoke bombardment. So there you go.
Hey, Ed,
Mm-hmm.
I just noticed something with these things. Look in the where it talks about the card in the top. See what it says Armored Reserve?
Armored Reserves, yeah.
Yeah, bad news.
Yeah, bad news. I'm like, oh, this is great. Oh, no, it sucks.
Yeah, so you want to explain what that means?
Yeah, I'm looking at the wording here.
Yeah, the Romanians had the same thing. Basically, all your tanks that where you normally ignore low armor tanks for deep reserves, these don't ignore deep reserves.
Yeah.
Yeah, the verbiage goes, in missions with deep reserves, you may only field one armored reserve tank unit, one tank unit with front armor or 4 or more, or one aircraft unit on the table start of the game. So it's kind of like, Finns, you would think, oh, these guys, I could defend with these guys. Nope, not if you take the tanks.
No,
right.
Rely on a lot of tanks, that's for sure.
Right. These were so few and far between. I get that. I guess that's why they put him on there.
Well, if you're going to have reserves and you're going to put one of your heavier units there, I mean, I've played with deep reserves a lot. But the problem with the Finns is that doesn't leave anything decent for ambush unit. Just those two unit AT units.
Right.
That ain't much for ambush. That's
not much. And you'll see here in a moment. For support, they can also get the 50 millimeter and the 75 also. But you'll see their numbers. They're only 2 guns each.
Yeah.
So not a lot of anti-tank firepower.
Not like that.
Yeah, I don't either. All right. Well, they give you also the option of taking the BA-10 armored car, and so they have those.
Yeah, Scout and Spearhead.
Yep, Scout and Spearhead.
And they
have, regular. Take a look at their Scout platoon though. Their Scout platoon's pretty awesome. You got 9 rifle teams in there, and they do have the you can add the Panzerfaust. What was that, limited also?
No, that one is limited. See where it says under the far right is limited one. The other, the close defense unit did not have that limited.
That's right.
So.
Well, I think the beautiful thing about the Scout unit is that it has the Hunter in it. So when you're doing your cross country,
right?
Yeah, you don't have to worry about those pesky trees.
Yeah, these are quick movers. But you're paying for it though, because at 9 stands, you're paying 15 points. And then you add the Panzerfaust. That's 17 points. That's almost 2 points each.
Yeah, but look at they're scouts, and they have assault of 4+ for scouts.
Yeah, I guess that's not bad.
No,
counterattacking is not good though.
Well,
good for the first round, and then after
first round, 9 guys going in, you're going to get something. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, you kill a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But then they won't. If the enemy comes back at them, they might not stick around.
Yeah. You guys are supposed to run, man. Wait a minute, you're coming back at me later. Yep. All right, but yeah, it's a large amount, so it's another option, but it is a support unit.
Yeah.
Okay. Now then, there you go, and then now the anti-tank guns that I was talking about, just 2 guns each, nothing special, same stats, German Pack 38s and Pack 40s. Okay, what else about these guys? You also have the early war option of the 76 millimeter gun there, and so the 76, sort of like the French 75s. AT8, 3+ firepower, 2 bombardment, 4 firepower, good range, 64 inches, and it's got the great motivation and skill. So it's a 4 guns. Yeah. 4 guns, 9 points. Not bad. You can get the German 105 also.
For 4 more points, you can bring them up to 105s.
Yep, sure can. So really good option. You got the Observer. And okay, for anti-air support there, you can get the Landsverk anti-aircraft 2, the 40 millimeter on the BT vehicle chassis.
So this is different than the Nimrod because it looks a lot like the same vehicle, but it's different.
Very similar, same capabilities, same stats.
Well, I do like the 7.4+.
Yeah, and that's worth taking. Yeah, three halted, 2 moving, 7+, and then 4+. Basic. Just like a 37. This is just a 40. But pretty good. Your only other option is the German 20. They call it an ITK 38, but it's a 20 millimeter. Looks just like the German 20. You can only get 2 of those also for 3 points, but same rate of fire, 3 halted, 2 moving. But for an extra point, you're getting a 7 AT with a 4+ firepower, as opposed to a 5 AT and 5+ firepower. So it's definitely worth that extra point. And so I don't know. I like it. And of course, just like all our other minor allies, you got the Stuka dive bomber capability.
Yeah, same stats as the Romanians and Hungarians.
Yeah, same exact thing.
Still showing the German Stuka.
Yeah.
All right, so
yeah. And so as far as what you can get, as far as what they're selling, you do have the option. I guess you can special order the T26 and the T28. Of course, you got the plastic versions of the KV tanks. They're showing in here by the whole company, but you can only use 2 of them for fins. So, there you go. And so you got the T34 Soviet option. There you go. They got the special numbers for the BT42 and the Landsverk. But that's it.
Yeah. Was there anything in the command cards that jumped out at you, Joe? I know I didn't get a chance to look at those.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of infantry upgrades, just random, like the Panzerfaust close defense. For 2 points, you can make them fearless. There's also about making a lot of platoons fearless. There are options, light infantry companies, different options. By the way, they do have a machine gun nest option, which I didn't see anyone else have, like a pack front option or something like that. You can get Panzer IVs.
Yeah, I didn't even know the Finns ever had Panzer IVs.
Well, here they are. Basically, they replaced the T26 platoon, and you can get 4 for 24 points. Now, of course, they're fearless. Remount on 2s. But they have a counterattack of 4+. Strange.
Yeah.
Pioneer platoons. They got the Allied card that goes to the Germans. By the way, there are some people. I recognize some of their names from people that I played for in the past, like Torin.
Yeah, he was the Green Beret guy.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Boy, he really did not want to leave the military.
Yeah.
Anyway, if your unit leader is within 6 inches in line of sight, you can blitz on a 2+. Okay. So what you do is you ambush the Panzerfaust guys. This guy's near them. Gives them a 2+ to blitz. Shoot your Panzerfausts. There, it's an option for 2 points. It's a combo, right? Because you really don't, you're throwing a bunch of AT-11 out there, and you don't have that many shots of high AT from anything else. So that's a combination. Now, of course, that's an expensive combination.
Yeah, but it's only 2 points for this hero. It's relatively cheap as far as heroes go.
Yeah, and anyone that's near him in 6 inches, last stand passes on a 2.
That's a 2-point card?
It's a 2-point card.
Oh, that could be huge for those AT guns that are gonna, when they lose a gun, they're checking.
Yeah, but hey, it's only one man, and he can't be everywhere on the battlefield.
No.
Oh, by the way, you know how many times I've seen people play this guy and then roll snake eyes?
You saw him in every finished list in version 3.
Yes, it was probably the first thing you click.
It was like an assault monster.
Yeah, you got another guy. He's a 75 millimeter anti-tank platoon.
Yep, that's right.
I'm not going to pronounce his last name.
Can't speak Finnish.
ILOMA umlaut KI. He re-rolls failed to hits. for the guns.
How many points?
4. And you ready for this? The
Yeah.
unit automatically passes rally test.
Oh, okay.
Not
So you
even a
gotta
roll,
fill 'em
just
all.
automatically.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then you got some fellow named Adolf. Earth Roth. I don't know.
Yeah, with Roth.
Yeah, his if you're within 8 inches in line of sight, you pass last stand of 2 on 2+, and unit leaders within 8 rally on 2s, and this guy's 3 points. So I mean, they got a lot of leadership. This unit leader may reroll fail to hits when shooting the 7.5 guns, which is the Sturmies. But wow, he's 5 points. I don't know, he's expensive.
Yeah,
But
any reroll for a tank to hit, it's pretty. Yeah, and I don't see a whole lot of heroes in competitive play, but this the tourney guy for 2 points, I think that's reasonable. I think we'll probably see him. I mean, we see a little Von Saken for the rerolls, and
Yeah.
but, we just don't see the hero use that we used to see.
Well, I remember it was a mid-war nationals, and Chris Jackson brought Rommel, and he found different ways of getting Rommel killed. I mean, like a freak mortar accident, a freak long. I'm gonna take. Oh, I just moved. I could see him. I need a 6 to hit. Hey, I hit. He failed, and it blows him up with like a long range shot. And it was the other one was like, I think it was a plane or something like that. I just remember just Jackson coming by going, "Oh, I lost Rommel again."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, well, Ed, what was your 100-point list? You didn't get a chance to.
Yeah, that's getting ready to
that
jump
out
in here. But what I decided to do is come up with a 2-formation force there. And so I went ahead and took the T-26 Armored Company. And so I did the T-26 XO vehicle with the T-34-85 for 8 points. And then then I got a T-34 85 platoon of 3, a T-28 platoon of 4, and a T-26 platoon of 5. And that's for 44 points right there. So four platoons for that group for 44 points.
So tank formation for starters.
Yes, and the other one would be the infantry formation, standard headquarters and 2 infantry platoons with 9 infantry, a Shrek and a Faust in each for 12 points each. The 81s and the 120s, I got both of those. And then I got here, I didn't, because I hadn't seen the cards. I just got a simple 2-gun Maxim unit in there for 2 points. But I got in there, it could be up to drop that and just put a 2-point card in there. And I think I would probably take that 2-point leader card that you guys were talking about.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good ad.
Yeah. And so for my support, I got the 275 packs there, the Bofors Landsvirk, and the Stukas.
That's good.
I would play that, yes.
It's interesting because I would think, I'm just used to seeing people playing infantry when they play Finns, and you went immediately to the tank force.
Yeah.
So that's a very interesting thing.
Good combo. So I got yeah.
Cool.
So people think you're zigging, but you zagged.
Yeah. And then I got 3 points in a draw or something.
You'll have to go back and relook at the getting in the Panzer IVs.
Yeah.
They can basically take the place of your T-26 platoon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Could put them in. But.
Yeah, I like that idea too, because right now in my reserve option, if I had to go to reserves, unfortunately I have my T-34-85s in there for 21 points and my T-26s. But I mean, not T-26s, but T-28s equaling 30 points, and then one of the infantry platoons. So that's a good chunk of my force, and it's my guns that I really do need.
Well, one thing I like about this Finnish force, and as Joe was saying earlier with the Hungarians, you want to play the bad guys, but not the evil Nazi bad
Yeah,
guys.
that's right.
Well, these guys are like the SS, but they're Finns. They're not so evil.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you want the fearless veteran troops and don't want to have and actually they're better than the SS because I think they're a little they come fearless veteran and careful. Whereas the SS guys actually need to be upgraded to become veteran. So these guys are just veteran to begin with. So that's a pretty good force.
Yep, defending their homes, man. Those Soviets, don't play fair. So
yeah,
they're doing it. That's where they're probably getting those points.
Well, good deal. All right, well, that's a lot of coverage, man. We got deep into it. There's a lot more to be seen. I'm sure we didn't cover everything, but a lot to be excited about here. And I think we will see more of these in the tournament scene. Certainly we're going to see Hungarians. I think Romanians too. And Finns, there's just some diehard Finn players out there that have been itching. Like we have a local guy, Brian Huss, has Finn.
Yeah.
He's been itching to get him back on the board. Mm-hmm. And one thing we didn't mention that will shortly be followed by a mid-war book for the Finns also. So maybe next podcast we'll cover that briefly.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of Finns, I just want to go out there. A couple years ago, we lost a player, Doug Rawson, who loved his Finns.
Right. He's been playing bolt action these days, hasn't he?
No, Doug Rawson passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry. Lost it. I saw him at Adepticon last time I saw him. I'm sorry. I wasn't tracking that he had passed. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I saw him at Adepticon. He was playing bolt action. This was maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah. When unfortunately is when his wife passed away of cancer. He started paying a lot of attention to his boys. So whenever his boys were playing, he was playing.
Wow.
So, he got into bolt action. That's when I saw him last too. Was at that Adepticon. He was playing? Was he playing Japanese?
I don't remember what he was playing. I would guess he was playing Finns because I think that's pretty much all I ever saw him play in Flames of War.
Yeah, he loved his Finns. He played British too now and then, but yeah, Finns. And So anyway, when I think of Finns, I think of him, and there's a lot of diehard Finn players out there. In fact, Rotson used to have a tournament that was a kind of a winter wonderland tournament where you were always playing in deep snow.
And the entire Finns and all Soviets, right?
Yeah, it was basically had to so everything was like a bog check.
Yeah.
So
good infantry fight. Nice. Well, here's a toast to Doug,
Yep.
Hate to see a war gamer move on, but we'd certainly miss him.
We also got another Finn player right here. Our man, our youngster Dominic Passard. He has finished good for us.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Dominic. Hopefully, you got some good hints from Ed's list here.
He'll go with the Stug list. That's what he does.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. By the way, I did play Finns once. It was in Masters, early war Masters, and the way that worked was every other round you played your opponent's army.
Yeah.
And I
like that.
Yeah, I played Japanese. I brought my Japanese, and in the last round I played Chris Jackson, and I didn't know how to play those stupid Finns, and basically he took my army and it says, "Oh, this is a lovely army," and beat me over the head with it.
Nice. That's only like the third time we've mentioned Chris Jackson in this podcast.
He's everywhere, man. He's everywhere. He's all over the place.
Well, because he plays Finns too.
Yeah. What doesn't he play? That's the question. So, I don't know. There's a whole lot out there he does not cover. Early war French. Okay, how about that?
Oh, he's probably painting them up right now.
Yeah, probably has it. Yeah. Well, I think that was a pretty good point here to take a break. Great job, guys. I'm excited to see all these. I would like to build Romanians, but like I said, I got to hang up about the medal, so I'm just not gonna go down that route for now, which is just fine. But look forward to seeing your forces, the Hungarians that you're going to add there, Joe, and the Finns that you're going to expand there, Ed. So
yeah,
we'll maybe I'll sneak in a platoon Romanians to go with my Soviets. We'll see what happens. Because they're metal already, so I might as well expand those guys with some good hard-hitting infantry. Cool. Well, let's take a break, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about upcoming events.
Sounds great.
Great.
All right. Thanks, Joe, for adding some content and value here. Appreciate it.
Oh, I hope I added value.
And could we entice you to come back after the break and give us the rundown on the upcoming events?
Sure, I'll hold through the commercial.
Oh, yeah, and also like to hear a little bit about Masters.
Oh, sure.
Okay, great. Well, we'll pause here.
Speed bonus lane. Hard Knocks Games is awesome. You can get board games, trading card games, role-playing games, hobby supplies and tools, Gundam, Warhammer, and more. Find us on Facebook at hardknocksgames.com or visit us on the Dixie Highway.
All right, we're hot.
Okay, what did we forget?
Yeah, we forgot rules that Ed forgot.
But Ed doesn't remember forgetting any rules. I think you forgot this time.
Well, it's not a forgot. It's a clarification. So this is going back 2 episodes now. And so this is a double reversal. Last episode was a mea culpa. This one is a rea culpa. So we're going back to Team Yankee and how you, or if you can put your transports, i.e. the example would have been a BMP unit. Can you put the BMP infantry on the board, deploy them normally, and choose as your ambushing unit to just be the BMPs on their own? Because you don't want to have the infantry and the BMPs because they have to, if you pull them out of ambush, they have to be mounted, and you want the infantry on the ground to block off terrain, to hold areas and prevent enemy movement. If you don't do that, they can dash right up on you pretty quick. So it makes sense if you can to put the infantry out and then put the transports in ambush with their missiles and their 30 millimeter cannons and so on. Mm-hmm. So that's what we thought was the case to begin with 2 episodes ago, and I got on there, and then I was corrected by none other than Chris Fretz. We could talk bad about him since we talked good about him earlier. He's like, oh, I don't think that's what it says. So he had a convincing case, made sense, and said, okay, well, and Chris Fretz is one of those guys you don't want to question a whole lot. He's generally pretty spot on with the rules, so I didn't think much about it. And then I had another listener, I think there was Aaron Macheski Preston, another one of our good buddies. He emailed me after the episode, and thanks for listening, Aaron. I said, no, I think you were right in the first place, Tom. And then so here's the ruling from FM 101, which is effectively is the more lessons from the front for the Team Yankee World War III game. And so on page 10 of that document, FM 101, there's a question: can I put the infantry of a BMP motor rifle company on the table and place their BMP fighting vehicles in ambush? The response is yes. That is a Soviet tactic, forming a mobile tank hunter group to support their infantry. Basically, you can put any unit you could deploy on the table in ambush. So there you go, Ed.
Okay, so that's separate from the deployed infantry.
Right. So the transports, the BMPs are an attachment to the infantry. If the infantry's on the board, they have to be on the board, but they can be in ambush on the board while the infantry is not in ambush.
And outside a command radius.
Oh, yeah, well, that's already a given. Unlike World War II Flames of War, in Team Yankee, the transports don't have to maintain any sort of command distance with the unit that they're attached to. They can literally go all over put them on opposite sides of the table if you wanted to. Okay. But if you're doing that, and that's a good point, Ed, because this same wording does not apply in the Flames of War ambush rules.
Right.
There, if you put I guess a good example would be German Panzer Grenadiers, mm-hmm. Right? If the Panzer Grenadiers are deployed, then their rides are deployed. If the rides are on the table, then the infantry can't go in ambush. So, any case, so there you go. We can do that. After I totally redid my whole Soviet strategy, thinking that I couldn't. so now, good news, I can put a unit into ambush of BMPs, which I have a lot of. So that can be a pretty good volley of AT4s or AT3s or what have you. All right, well, let's go ahead and continue on now with Joe Lewis and upcoming events.
Gunnery tank!
All right. Well, before we wrap up today's episode, as usual, we're going to cover upcoming events. And we've got Joe still online with us, or coming back online with us right now, since he's doing a much better job of keeping track of upcoming events for his weekly podcast than we have been. And he posted it on Facebook here just the other day. So I hope you continue that, Joe, on your weekly updates. But go ahead, let us know what's coming up in the future for Team Yankee and or Flames of War.
All right, everybody. My name is Joe Lewis. I'm with Battle Rankings Live. Kind of doing a special spot here. Let's go through that North America tournament schedule. So the next thing's coming on up, June 12th and the 13th, Daikon in Connersville, Illinois. So that on the 12th, they're doing Team Yankee, 105, 3 rounds. And on the 13th, they're doing Late War, 105, 3 rounds. The word on the street is those are sold out.
Yeah, I tried. I tried to get it, but
yeah.
Are they sold out for just the events, or are they sold out because the tournament or the convention has reached its max capacity?
I don't know about about the event, but the tournament itself, they capped out at the number of participants. I don't know if it's somewhere between 20 and 24. So there's a lot of people going. So that one, I sat that one out. And so I know a lot of people are going, your Fretzes and Clays and local people. So it should be a good time. And I'm glad, Will Rankowski, which we brought up before, is actually running this one. So
that's good. Yeah.
Yep.
He's always been the guy that has run the tournament at Daikon.
Yep. And if you go there, just call him Zarini Boy or Zarini Lad.
Yeah, that was good.
Also, on June 12th, just added to the calendar at Hard Knocks Games in Elizabethtown, Kentucky, a D-Day themed event, 100 points. I believe they're calling it D-Day plus 6. Yep. So welcome to Hedgerow Country. 3 rounds on that Saturday. So and I believe they have limited space. I think you guys are capping out at 20.
16.
16. Ooh, so yeah, if you want to get in this one, act quickly. Then June 19th and 20th, Station Retro in Huntsville, Alabama. They are doing a 2-day, 5-round, it says D-Day event, though I think they're kind of opening it up. 105 Late War. Now, I will be attending this one.
Oh, great.
Yep, so they'll see me again. So
you ought to travel with Ed. Ed's probably going to go too.
Yeah, what was the date on that again?
19th and 20th.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, it is Father's Day weekend.
Yeah.
So if your dads want to go down there and blow things up, should be interesting. What's this supposed to say? They do have interesting boards.
Yes.
Big rivers right down the middle. I've seen the pictures.
They got the what is it? The Arc of Triumph right there in Paris, and they got the circle right there. It's all hardwood. It's built in. I mean, it's unique boards, but they're really cool looking boards.
Yep. I'm looking forward to it. I'd be surprised because they're making more and more boards all the time. So I think this is going to be their 3rd tournament. So they're really getting into it. They're trying to do 1 a month. Mm-hmm. Then that leads us to June 26th. The 26th and the 27th at Family Time Games is Team Yankee Masters.
Yep. That's Indianapolis, Indiana.
Yep, Indianapolis, Indiana. They are, and now it's an invite only. I think we could talk about the format after this, but it's 6 rounds. I am TOing that. So as your tournament organizer, I am planning. I'm putting the pieces together to do live streaming of a table for all 6 rounds. With a better camera. We got a better camera. I'm working on the rig now to be over the table. Should be good. I'm should be good. And I really want that to be nice. And I am working on a new table using the a couple of years ago when version 4 came out at Historicon, Battlefront it was all desert tables. And so they had 20, 30 desert tables that they put together. Well, Family Time Games bought all the terrain of all those desert tables for Historicon.
Yeah.
They have a ton of Desert War stuff. Well, that's how we make the table called Little Fallujah.
Oh, I remember that from last year.
Yeah, we are going to do that again. And I think that's the table we're going to live stream from.
Ugh.
Yes. So everyone hated it. So that means it's a good table.
My West Germans want to go.
You were close, Ed. You were close.
Yeah.
Maybe next year.
So, but on the 26th, which is that Saturday, we are doing a side tournament because the local fans demanded it, and I am about to give to what the public wants.
And you can attend that one, Ed.
I am going to do that.
Family Time Games, Indianapolis, Indiana side tournament. I wasn't good enough to meet the big boy table, so I'm at this one.
Nice.
That's me.
Yeah.
That's it.
We're doing Flames of War mid-war 3 rounds, and that one is it's going to be a de-escalation tournament. So it's going to go 100, 85, 70. So that's the 3 rounds.
Ooh.
So the only thing is that your formation, your core formation needs to come from the same book, same formation. So if you do use Panzergren from the Ghost Panzers, that all 3 of your formations need to be Ghost Panzers, Panzergrens.
Okay, got it.
The composition is up to you, as long as that's your core formation.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing there. So that should be fun. So far, we got 8 people signed up. So there's still some room. Now, I've been saying this on my cast, is that if you know someone who's going to the tournament and you want to tag along, this is your activity on Saturday. You play in this tournament. Saturday evening, we're doing a dinner. It's kind of an awards dinner. We give the trophy for the year, the points leader for the year at that time. And so you can tag along with that if you choose to. But, Ed, I know you're not going to be there Sunday, but if you were, you'd be like, hey, Joe, what would I do Sunday? Go ahead, ask.
Go to dinner.
No, Sunday, we're going to do a live broadcast during the 5th round. So 3-hour, we're scheduling for the 3-hour broadcast, and we're looking for audience members to attend, and hopefully a good time. Now, Tom and I did this last year.
Yeah, we had a good time with it.
Oh, we had a blast. We had some people from different parts of the world chit chat with us on the broadcast. We had a good time.
Yeah, we had a guy from Australia, didn't we?
Yeah, and
like
the one guy from Holland. Yep. So yeah, that was good. All right, back to the whatchamacallit here.
So that's Sunday during round 5, huh?
Sunday during round 5. Yep. So yeah, be looking for that. We'll also be having the simulcast of the Fallujah table. Okay, moving on. This one just added to the calendar. July 3rd, kind of an Independence Day thing. Dreamer's Vault. they're actually opening up. So I think this is their first game since COVID hit.
It's like that's Minneapolis area.
Yeah, Minneapolis, Minnesota. They are doing a mid-war, 100 points, 3 rounds. By the way, I think we're going to start seeing more and more mid-war now with these books coming out.
Yep.
So you got that. Dreamer's Vault, Minneapolis. August 14th. This one I added too. So this is new. Gold Mine Games in Richmond, Texas. That's a brand new store. They're just getting off the ground. They're doing a Team Yankee, 105 points, 3 rounds. So that's pretty cool.
Okay.
Here's the next one coming up is August 20th and 21st. This is NashCon, and it's going to be in Nashville, Tennessee. They are doing 2 events on Friday, that Friday and the 20th. They are doing Late War, 105, 3 rounds. And on the 21st, Mid-War, 3 rounds. And it's also a kind of a de-escalation. 95 points, 85, 79, Eastern Front theme.
That'd be cool. We get to use some of these lists we talked about tonight.
Yep. And so that's pretty cool about NashCon. I'm already signed up. I got my ticket. I know there's kind of a limited run. I don't know if they're sold out yet, but you know what? If you're going to go, don't wait too long to pull the trigger.
And what was that again on the days? It was Late War on Sunday?
On Friday.
Oh, Friday? Oh, so it's Friday and Saturday.
Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, Late War and Mid-War. Also, something brand new. I've been mentioning it, but we finally going to put it out there. Gen Con. Thursday, Friday, Saturday on the 16th, 17th, and 18th. So, Able Company here in Indianapolis, that's the guys I hang out with, are hosting some tournaments at Gen Con like we always do. The good news is Gen Con is actually they're kind of doing things different this year. Of course they postponed it until September. Also, they are only groups are running stuff. So, like for example, Able Company is a group. We've been doing it for years, so we got spots and tables, and that's good. The main thing about that one is we are and we do 1-day tournaments. So on Thursday, the 16th, Mid-War, 100 points. On the 17th, Friday, Team Yankee, 100 points. On 18th, Saturday, Late War, 100 points.
Straight hundreds. Nice.
We could keep it right 100. Yeah, we just trying to get back up. You got to walk before you can run, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're getting the space. Now the question is, how many tables can we get? That's the thing that we're still working on. So we're still getting a decent size. Can we get the larger sizes that we got before? I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, that's what we're working on. Those are the ones that are actually down in the books. I did talk to Battlefront. I sent a message to Battlefront asking about Advance the Colors. Are they planning to do something? When I know, the adoring public will know too. Mm-hmm. CincyCon, 22nd October, 22nd to 24th. They always do something. Got to figure.
Carl Tier normally runs a Team Yankee and a Flames of War event.
Right.
Usually Friday and a Saturday.
I'm sorry. The Advance the Colors are that's a golf company. Then November 11th is Historicon, which is really fall in, but it's taken over there. And Lancaster, PA. That's what I asked about Battlefront, if they're going to be running a tournament there. That one, if I know something, you'll know something.
Yeah. That's normally like one of the largest tournaments when it is occurring. That'd be huge, but
it's now. If you want to be thinking about getting into Masters this year,
what I have listed here is probably your best bets to get into a decent sized tournament to get some points. And it's looking like Gen Con's probably going to be mid-war, late war, two events that are going to have a decent size attendance that you can, if you score well, get some points to get in there for Masters.
Better go, Ed, so you can maintain your standing.
About it.
You're qualified. Don't slip.
I know.
Yep. But there is your North America tournament schedule, brought to you by Battle Rankings Live. Anyway.
Battle Rankings.
Hey, I got another one to add to you, but I don't have. All he said is there's a tournament up at what's the name of that store? Anyway, it's in Greenville, South Carolina, and on the 17th of July, it'll be a Flames of War tournament. But all I have is that's all the information I've got right now.
Well, we get more details for next month. That's still far enough.
Yeah, I'll get it up there.
Okay.
Good deal.
But yeah, every week I go through this. It's one of the first things I do after we talk about the theme music.
You do it at the beginning of your show. We do it at the end of ours.
What I do is I entice them in, bait them in, and they get hooked on my personality.
We just hope they hang around. Wait for the good stuff. So.
Well, the thing is, mine's a live show. Yours is I could fast forward until I get to the.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now we're gonna have to start randomly placing it somewhere and not telling people where it's at. Excellent. Well, good deal. Well, Joe, we appreciate you joining us tonight, helping us out with the review of the new Bagration Axis Allies book. And
do you want to talk about Masters?
Oh yes, please talk about Masters. I forgot about that, and then we'll wrap it up.
All right, then you can kick my ass out.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. So, Masters. The idea of Masters is that being invitation only, and these people, through sheer determination and doing well at tournaments, have proven themselves to be, kind of above the rest for that year, right? Mm-hmm. The idea is to provide a challenge to them. And so ever since Masters of some form or fashion has begun, the idea is, what is the challenge? I think I mentioned in the last segment, it was one of those things for early war. You brought an army and you only played with it half the time. So I played with my army 3 times, and I played with my opponent's army 3 times. So they throw these twists in there. So what the idea is, what's the twist? And with the COVID and stuff like that, the last 2 Team Yankees, I've TO'd and I come up with the twist. So this one is you create a 70-point Team Yankee list, and you do your normal purchasing of stuff for 70 points. There's the second part, which is then you create 3 individual sideboard of 10, 20, or 30 points. The sideboard list cannot add to any formation or purchase more things than the base 70. So it's purely adding. And whatever you add, it's purely support. So these sideboards, you will actually play twice in the tournament. Randomly, you'll be chosen. So so basically, you'll be playing with an 80, 90, and 100-point list. So the idea is that on top of that, you're also going to be using each of your battle plans twice. So you have to attack, you have to maneuver, and you have to defend twice during the tournament. So do you use your 30-point list to be the guy, the defending? The difficult part about that is that your opponent and the board usually have something to say about it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have to be quite clever about how you put your list together. So what's your base 70 and everything else with it.
Yeah, and you won't know whether you're attacking or defending. Yeah, I mean, you won't know where you're going to be on the board until you at least determine that part.
Yeah, because the first thing that's going to happen is you'll get your opponent assignment, you'll get your table assignment, your opponent, and then we'll randomly pick the points for that turn. Then you go ahead and put down your battle plan.
So everybody's be playing the same points at the same time. So like,
yes,
first round will be everybody at 100 points or whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was going to be random draw by individual, so you could have a guy who was running 70, 80 points against a guy who's running 100 points.
No.
Oh, okay.
You'll still be the same.
Gotcha.
The thing is that can you create a basically using this? Can you create a list that is flexible so that you go, oh, I see what he's got. I know what's going on. I need to defend. Or you can go look at it and say, oh, I really need to attack, or maneuver. We're going to be using the new extended mission packs, which also adds its twist into it. Because if you haven't played them, you're in for a big shock. So especially maneuver missions.
Yeah, they pretty wild.
Yeah, they completely changed those.
Mm-hmm.
So I played them a couple times in some tournaments, and I'm really starting to dig them. I know there's some people out there complaining about them, but this is really changed the game. So I'm kind of interested to see. By the way, I already have 3 lists, or 3 people have submitted their list so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm almost there, Joe. Almost there.
Yeah, I'm we got some time for those who are playing. Tom's in there. He's playing. So it should be good. We got a good group coming. And it's going to be some fun. I know I'm going to have some fun. Yeah, because I'm going to be running it and broadcasting. I got the side tournament. For me, it's all about convincing, hey, how you doing? And so, yeah, I'm not. I know I have the option of being the ringer. I'm looking for someone to be the ringer just in case.
Especially if there's 2 tournaments to run, you're going to be pretty busy.
Yeah. But the thing about the Masters tournament is very rarely do you get called over because of some issue.
Right.
Yeah. It's just I just got to make sure the train runs on time.
Yeah.
Make sure it has decent tables. Everyone's good. Get the, put it in there. Get the missions, get the, the stuff going on time, that finish on time. So, just be a good host.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, it should be good. Yeah. And then a side tournament like Ed coming, that should be good too.
I'll see him up there too. You guys always do a great show up there at Family Time Games.
Yeah, they're good hosts.
Yeah, so.
All right. Oh, thanks, Tom. Thanks for having me on here and
I appreciate it.
Sharing my, my amounts of wisdom. If my next show next Wednesday, I'm actually going to be going over the lessons from the front, and the field handbook, and talking about there's a couple game changers in there if you didn't notice.
People should know they can go find all those previous broadcasts, right? They're all posted and they can there's a lot of good information in there.
Yeah, we have about 60 episodes over, like the average is about 2 hours each one, just chock full of information.
You have like an index of them? That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, if you go to battle rankings on YouTube, you can see them all. They all got their titles in there.
Okay, so they say what subjects covered and okay.
Yeah, and the Facebook also. So if you could go to Facebook and see the videos there also.
Yeah, that's a great resource.
Yeah. We have fun. My wife is my producer.
Yeah, Panzer Ghost.
Yeah, she's Panzer Ghost.
Oh, we weren't supposed to say that. That was a secret.
Yeah, well, no, she channels Panzer Ghost.
Oh,
Yeah, she actually has some friends, and people have reached out or talked about Panzer Ghost, and we've actually called them the Panzer Pests.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the fans. So the Panzer fans. The thing is that if you listen real closely, she'll just out of nowhere come make a comment as Panzer Ghost about something, and it's pretty damn funny. The show's it's different. We try to put some humor in there, along with some education, and just keep it light and airy, and to talk about and have a good time. I think it's different from everything else out there where it could be really dry.
Well, you started that as a kind of a response to the pandemic and the lockdown. Are you going to continue that now that we're kind of coming out of the lockdown?
Oh yeah.
Good.
I invested in equipment, my mics, my camera.
Yeah, I'm envious.
Software.
Looking at that mic you got right there, I'm like, oh, what a nice setup.
Oh yeah, this is in my mic, and the camera's good, and even the software, that I run. Though I power it with PowerPoint. That's how I do the presentations. Mm-hmm. So I'm showing PowerPoint presentations, but yeah, it's a good way to show it, and yeah, I think we try to introduce people to some new ideas and stuff. We're going to be we have some new books out that are out now. I'll be bringing in subject matter experts to come on in and talk about them a little bit more in depth. We got a poll that's going to be coming out towards the end of the year. Get back to that. I've done it 3 times in the past, where I just generically ask these questions about what do you play, how often do you, and then of course I always round towards tournaments, because that's what Battle Rankings is about. It's the tournament scene.
Yep.
And who does tournaments, how far do they travel, who does what, and I got all this interesting statistics. Haven't done it in a couple of years because of the situation, but yeah, we'll be bringing that back and seeing what comes out of that. We're always looking for feedback, and I'm always learning something too. Oh, by the way, we always play, hey, what did we learn? I was hoping more people would be live to figure out what did they learn, if they learn things. But it is pretty cool when I do go to a tournament and some guy comes up and says, oh, by the way, I've been listening to your podcast, and I never knew that. I learned something.
Yeah.
Or actually, I was in Newark, Ohio, and it was like the last game. I don't remember who was playing, but the last game, it was the game for all the marbles, and the 2 players were playing, and a situation came up, which was, I just discussed it in the last podcast, and they go, well, what happens here? And a whole bunch of people blurt out, didn't you watch the show?
Yeah. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
That's been a great service to the community. It's really helped keep things going during the pandemic and help make people become better players.
I hope so. It's something I'm just trying to give, I don't know about, just trying to make it a better community, the rules and stuff.
Yeah, building it up. So, well, good deal, guys. I think this been going to be a long episode. so yeah. Everybody who was able to make it all the way through, we appreciate it, and we appreciate Joe's coming to join us and helping give us some words of wisdom. And we look forward to see you next month. So, Ed, you want to say goodbye?
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. All right, Joe. Take care.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right.